Okay. Welcome. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the everlasting summer. Okay, we need the camera on. What's up? Okay. I guess the music can stop. Thank you. Okay, so hey, welcome back to the everlasting summer, and we played about for an hour yesterday, and yeah, let's continue. Let's just continue. Okay, I decided to go east, at least in the direction where east would be in my world. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. A game was in full swing there. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself and even thought of going professional, but a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of uncertain chance in the game. Kids of different ages were the running around the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl of about 14 years old. A girl. Hey, that's Uliana. Alright, so she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me. Hey, you, Uliana shouted. Wanna play? I didn't know how to answer. On the one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be my final one. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. Maybe another time, right? I shouted in response, turned around and walked back. I was followed by Uliana's screams about my pants or about me being a pansy or something like that. Okay. A bit weird comment. Evening was falling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted with no real purpose. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench, and gave an exhausted sigh. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to people to the people here, right? You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. That is true. Could great people also be affected by this? I'm gonna guess yes. And how do you define great people? I'm not sure what's your definition of great people. And in that case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and it does not really matter which mechanism I serve as a gear in society, the matrix, or a weird pioneer camp. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells. That's a horn. It's a signal horn. I don't know what it's called. Sound of bells chiming from a loudspeaker on the light pole. I don't see the light pole here. It must be the dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that now I knew where it was. Olga was there, standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Simeon, what are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. My stomach backed me up here. The two of us went inside. Okay, so now I remember this scene, but it was very vague. Like I don't really remember what's gonna happen next, but this background, I remember this background. So yeah, the canteen looked like a canteen. Yes, I also remember this line. So damn, my memory is really weird. Like I remember certain parts of it, and then I don't remember the other certain parts of it. I had had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls and on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with the occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp is supposed to look like. Now, I don't remember if I renamed the stream to Everlasting Summer or is it still Minecraft? Yeah, I think it's Everlasting Summer. Yeah, it's Everlasting Summer. Yep, working good. I'm just gonna like my own stream for no good reason. Okay, guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp is supposed to look like. Semyon, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Kaya, what? Hold it right there. Olga shouted at Elisa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. Yes, as we discussed yesterday. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. Alright, alright. She did that in front of us? Wait, wasn't her shirt not buttoned? It was tied, right? And okay, you know what? Lisa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there, next to Uliana. Wasn't she just playing football? But okay, it was a horn thing, right? So even she was invited by the horn. Maybe yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table too. Do they do that though? I don't know which canteen does that, where the food is already served and you just have to go and sit on the table and eat it. From what I remember, canteen is that you have to take your own plate and adjust your camera a bit. Okay, take your own plate and then sit on the table to eat. But fine, works. I had no other choice but to accept. Okay, of course there was a probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curare, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. Okay, in common Russian language, cutlet is minced meat, fried or baked in the shape of a ball or a cylinder. I know that. Close to American patties. Yeah, I figured that out. Compote is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Compote in French. Okay, but it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist. Hey, what do you want? I replied rather rudely to Uliana, who was sitting next to me. Why didn't you play football with us? Because of my clothes? Said I, pointing at the source of the problem. Oh, alright, then eat. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could have done that. No, more precisely, none but Uliana could have done it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you're careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. You know what? It's fine. See, I don't have it. And indeed, Uliana's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Take it easy, we'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, then they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Uliana returned and handed me the plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... Wow! What the heck? Some bug. No, not a bug, an insect. It got legs and it's wiggling. The plate fell to the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on my leg while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlers appear in my plate, that's just way too much. Exactly. You little. Lena seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door, laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out of the canteen. The music is too much for the scene right now, but fine. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I would catch this little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran onto the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Uliana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. It simply can't. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night, but I get back to the camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, gotta choose at random. Oh god. I wandered for quite some time in the forest and even thought of crying for help, but finally I saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone. I mumbled quietly. On the one hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't just stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves. Or do they? Turn, turn, turn. This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it: an ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly, the driver could have just been off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why. In any case, dude, you stayed for like half of the day, and how do you believe that he was off for just a snack, and you took off early? You know what? Not even gonna question it. Increasing the sound a little bit. Whether the bus drives itself or not was probably an important question. But it was much more important to know how I had got here at all, and where this here was. The fields and the woods stretching towards the horizon had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lured me so much with the carefree normality that I was simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple of hours ago. See, this is the theory that I had yesterday after playing. I was wondering about this game itself, and I was thinking that maybe the pioneer girls and the entire camp is just a set. It's basically luring me into something that is not true, and it's just gonna kill me at the end. It's gonna give me nightmares, of course, as the girl named Rena, someone that came into like a daydream nightmare. It just flashed on me yesterday, and I think this is gonna happen, and I really hope there's not some gruesome horror, but let's see, let's explore how this one goes. Although I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all. And only after that would I continue looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would be some time later. And what about now? Can I allow myself to relax? Well, hopefully you should. Oh, it's night. It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came up silently from behind. Slavia. Hello. What are you doing here so late? It was Slavia standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped. So you didn't catch Uliana, did you? She smiled. I nodded disappointedly and sighed. No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all. Yeah. And now you make the noise, thank you. Indeed, I had completely forgot about my hunger. But after these words of hers, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving A traitorous rumble. Yeah, exactly. Slavia smiled. Let's go then. What, is the canteen still open? It's alright, I have the keys. The keys? Yes, I have keys to all the facilities in the camp. Oh, how come? Well, I'm something like the camp leader's aide here. Oh, I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. Arise, yo, what's up? And by the way, congrats on being the moderator. You can see your name is colored blue because you're now my channel's moderator. And welcome back to the stream. How you doing? What's up? It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise. You go on to the canteen and I'll come in a minute, alright? Oh, I have a very, very bad feeling that this is gonna go wrong. This is gonna go very, very wrong. Alright. I really did not expect to find somebody aside from myself there at such a late hour. And that somebody was apparently trying hopelessly to open the door. Why do I think it's the... what was the name? Oh, I forgot the name. Shit, the one with the tight top. Yeah, this one. The lockpicker turned out to be Alisa. Yes, that turned out to be Alisa. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, then said, "Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something." Meaning? Help me open the door. Why? Because I want some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough. Is that really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Uliana didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she? She smiled sarcastically. It's true, she didn't. And it's a really wonderful thing that they have dinner before, 7 p.m. I think that's what they call dinner. And lunch is at about 12 p.m., 1 p.m., I'm gonna guess. That is really good eating cycle. Like you have dinner before 7 and then you stay awake till maybe 9, 9:30, 10, and then do your nightly chores and then you go to sleep. That's a really long time to digest the food, which is something I've been wanting to do. Like I've done that a few times. Like I've had my dinner at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening, which is very early, very, very early, and it just makes me hungry after 9, and it's useless eating before 7 because I'm just gonna end up eating some more after 9. So yeah, it's fine. Slavia will come now. And what? Guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm off then, and you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already. Having said that, Alisa disappeared into the night. I have a huge doubt on Slavia instead of I have on Alisa. I think Alisa, even though she looks not so normal, might just end up being the only normal girl out here. Because that's the point of these games. Like, they lure you into thinking like, hey, this is a really cute girl and she smiles and she talks to you, so she's the good girl. And then this girl who's being a little bit jerk to you. Girls being nice to you is not reality. That's you should understand that it's either fake or either you are Tom Hardy, because other than that they won't be all that blah blah and all this shit. Girls are real jerk to real boys, so I don't know what I'm saying, whatever. And what was the first one? Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. Is everything alright? Yeah, why are you asking? No reason, it's nothing. It would be better if I didn't tell her about Alisa. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. Well, shall we go? As for Slavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything, or at least she was pretending she hadn't. Music. We entered the canteen. Wait a bit, I'll go get something. I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my savior. My dinner was simple, a few buns and a glass of kefir. No wonder our pet hungry pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face? No, just. Oh god, don't look at the camera. That is so creepy. Don't look at the camera, dude. Get this shit off. She smiled. So, how did you like your first day in the camp? Oh, it's getting very, very uncomfortable with her looking at me right now. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Well, I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut. It's alright, you'll soon get used to it. Slavia stared out the window dreamily. Okay, now don't look at me, thank you. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least she wants me to think that she doesn't. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Do you think so? She asked without any interest. Yeah, this place is so, I wanted to say retro, but I imagine to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew, if the term life was applicable here at all. So how? She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know, lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good. Oh god, don't look at me. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Me? Yes. I love it here. It's great. Then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted it to get. And you're worried yourself? Really? Why do you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely... Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I could bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not any other local inhabitant? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sends chills down my spine and into my marrow. Exactly. So this is how things are. Like, these people are completely normal, but the Alyssa, she's not so normal. So she might just end up being the real person or the reality. All of this is just fantasy. I have a bad feeling this Semyon is having some mental illness where he thinks all of this is happening, where it's all just an empty space, like it's an empty canteen, it's an abandoned camp in Russia or something like that. I really hope it's not like that. I'm really sorry for thinking the other way. Sorry, developer, if you end up watching this anyway. So normal, it sends chills down my spine and into my marrow. Normal, not like a neighbor with a power drill in one hand and the subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or on public transport. Not like a co-worker at the next table in an open plan office. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant instances. All of them looked normal, as I would expect them to be, with their own downsides but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp but ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Oh, sorry. Are you sure? You haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay, and what have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field, and what about the beach? Just from afar. You really should go there. Well, let's do it together. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me. Exactly, so this is what I'm talking about. But then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be, and this world looks strange only to me, while for them, it's normal. It's a really hard drawing of a line between what is normal and what is not, because as he said, it's really perspective. For me, this is not normal. This is very weird because hours ago, I'd say hours ago he was going for a college reunion, and where is he? In a random world, in an alien world where there's summer there, and it's not even a different country, it's still Russia, and at least I hope so. I have no idea. So maybe I was thrown into the past. Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga by yourself? Of course I can, but why should I go there? She'll settle you with someone. What for? Probably this question seemed stupid because Slavia busted into good natured laughter. She looks a bit different now. You need to sleep somewhere, right? That makes sense. Fine, I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. Take the keys. Of course, why would I leave the keys? I'd better take them. I'll give them back tomorrow because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts gave me chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the song of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. A sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter. Here was much brighter than near the canteen, and tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer camp, girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in the direction. A girl, reading a book. Lena. I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only new person I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hi, what are you reading? Lena was so surprised that she even jumped. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Never mind. She blushed and started at the book again. Wait, stare at the book again, sorry. So what are you reading? On the cover was written Gone with the Wind. Praise the book? A good book. Thanks. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such literature suits her very well. Lena didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you... No, she answered while still looking at the book. Can I sit beside you for a while? Why? And really, why? Maybe just because I was very tired and having company is better than being alone. Or maybe I wanted to try to find something out from her. I carefully examined Lena. But no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know, I'm not allowed to? Feel free. But if I'm bothering you... No, you're not. I can leave, just say, everything's alright. Okay then. I sat on the end of the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice to just stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, huh? Lena hasn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet if Uliana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled the Slavia's question and thought it would be a good start for a conversation. Yes. She smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easily as Slavia. But there was something about her that attracted attention, like a momentary glimpse of a reflection in the glass on a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but it still felt so tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying any attention to my presence, and I had no intention of asking her anything about this camp or this world in general. Beautiful night. Yes. How in a world would you start a conversation with her? It's late. I have to go. Yes, it's quite late. Good night. Good night. There's something strange about this girl. At first glance, she is a typically shy and modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lena took its own place in the massive list of mysteries about this camp which I had started to put together in my head. A lazy evening, there's nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed towards Olga. Can I hide the... Oh, I can do that. That's a good thing to know. The light in the house was on. Hello, Simeon. You're quite late. Yeah, I went for a walk to look around the camp. Alright. You will be sleeping here? She pointed a finger at one of the beds. Right here? I was a bit surprised. Yeah, is something wrong? We're out of free cabins anyway. The camp leader smiled, but I rather think it was just out of politeness. You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yep, sure. I was lost in the thought for a moment. Don't you mind it made me... Don't give me words I don't know the meaning about. I'll have to search what that means. How do you even pronounce that thing? Mademoiselle. Don't you mind it, mademoiselle? A title or form of address used of or to an unmarried French-speaking woman corresponding to miss. What? Oh, it's like, don't you mind it? Whatever. She looked at me oddly, with surprise and some offense in her eyes. A pioneer should respect their elders, Olga said strictly. Of course, you should. No one argues with that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also? She stared at me. And such a gaze, even mithril forged by the best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what? What's up, dudes? Annoyance and a lack of understanding made me raise my voice. You must address adults appropriately. Yes, of course, there are a lot of strange things here, but this girl is just a couple years older than me, or maybe even younger, but I decided not to argue. While just a few minutes ago, I would never have called her an adult. I have to admit that she was also given a strong character. And in any case, I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's much better. This is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Just yesterday, I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have a choice now? If you don't want to, we'll have to make you. We'll have to make you what? This is the motto Olga was probably going to use. Actually, yeah. I climbed onto the bed and closed my eyes only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awfully, as if my brains had started a night shift, and they seemed to be aimed more at rolling steel than working on something more sensitive. The bus flew through my mind, and the square with the monument, the canteen full of pioneers, and the malicious face of Uliana, Slavia, Lena, and even recalling Alyssa didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. What if I'm here for good? Oh god. It's taking a turn, isn't it? Day 2. Holy shit. I was having a dream. It seemed like I was in some kind of vacuum with nothing around me. But not only around, I was the only creature in the universe. As if the universe had returned to a state of singularity right before the Big Bang. And something was just about to happen. Suddenly I heard a voice. I could not make out the words, but it sounded familiar. The voice was whispering something gently, as if soothing me. And then I realized it was the voice of that strange girl from the bus. The girl from the dream. But what is she trying to tell me? Who is she? I woke up. Oh god, this is so terrifying right here. And this right in front of my bed. Is this my bed? I don't know if this exactly my bed, but bright sunlight struck my eyes. It was almost noon. After stretching lazily on the bed and yawning, I started to recall the previous day. In few seconds, all its events passed before my eyes. The bus, the camp, the local inhabitants. No, that's just wrong. Not this whole situation, not me being here. It was wrong by default. My attitude towards what was happening was wrong. Because yesterday I fell asleep here just like that, and before that I chatted nicely with the local pioneers, even managed to crack a few jokes. How could I act like that in such a situation? I should be frightened, startled by every little rustling, should avoid all contact with potential hostile creatures. The last day's events were getting hazy, like I had a hangover. This really feels like the morning after a heavy drinking party. Yesterday's natural, flawless, absolutely normal conduct becomes a nightmare in the morning, a grotesque illustration from the Divine Comedy. It is. Yes, it's just like that, and I can't change the past now. Then again, I had probably assessed the situation and was acting accordingly. I glanced around, trying to figure out whether I had been thrown somewhere else, but Olga's cabin looked like the same as yesterday. Everything seemed to be in its place except for a pioneer uniform which was hanging from the bed head. I fumbled with it in distrust and tried it on. At least this is better than walking around in winter clothes, which wish I could see myself, but I look like a clown. And for what? I needed a mirror, at least a tiny one. I finally found one on the wardrobe door. Holy! I looked at the newfound pioneer and jumped away in surprise. There was some teenager on the other side of the mirror. He resembled me, but he wasn't me. Oh god, what? So he has time traveled. Where did the weak stubble go? Where was the bag under my eyes, the slouch, that deathly fatigue on my face? It seemed that I had not been thrown back in time or into parallel reality, but instead had simply changed bodies with someone else. Right, that's real simple. Such things happen every day. I took a closer look at the stranger, and only thing I realized that it actually was me. It just wasn't today's me, maybe the one from between my school and university years. Well, at least that's something. There you go, the person in an extreme situation did fail to notice the elephant in the room after all, but the camp leader noticed it, and the last night she told me off for addressing her without proper respect. Screw that. I doubt my appearance affects anything else. If the clock was not lying, breakfast was long over. Oh well, I'll try to find something in the canteen. It worked out well yesterday with Slavia, didn't it? Those memories made me smile involuntarily. The sun was shining brightly outside. A light breeze was blowing. A beautiful summer day. I had not felt so good in the morning for several years. I think it's noon. It's not morning, dude. You just said it's noon. All problems were gone, vanished into clouds that were white as snow. Olga came out of nowhere. Good morning, Semyon. Morning? I smiled, doing my best to show that no matter what, my morning was indeed good. You only arrived yesterday, so I decided not to wake you up, but breakfast. Never mind, here, take this. She handed me something wrapped in a paper. Judging by the oily stains, there had to be sandwiches inside. Oh, thank you. Now go wash yourself. I was about to leave. Wait a second. Olga quickly ran into the house and came out to shove a small bag into my hands. Inside it, I found a toothbrush, soap, a small towel, and something else. I did not look too closely. A pioneer should always be clean and tidy. Let me do your neckerchief properly this first time. Yours is askew. You should do it yourself once you learn how to. Do we have to? I'm going to wash myself now. Yeah, right. It could get hooked on the tap and strangle me. Fine, later then. And don't forget about the lineup. Pencils, paper, drawing lines. You don't forget such things. What lineup? What do you mean, what lineup? She frowned. It's Monday today. Weird. By my approximation, it should have been Sunday. Then again, a shift in the day of the week is hardly the worst thing. Usually we have lineups early in the morning before breakfast, but it's Monday today, so we are having it at 12 o'clock. Don't be late. Alright, but where? At the square. Where else? There was no reason to argue. I headed to the bathing place. Wait, what? I knew I could forget about separate showers and toilets, but at the sight of this malfunctioning symptom of decaying socialism, a funny turtle with a tiny shell, paw taps, and ceramic belly, I felt sick. I was not a squeamish person, but nevertheless, standing there, I realized that there was still some minimal level of habitual comfort which I found it troublesome to do without. It's often like that when you lose things that you thought were ordinary and common, you suddenly understand just how essential they were. Ah, screw this, as if I have any choice. The water was ice cold. While washing my hands was not an issue, washing my face and my mouth became a big problem. There was no toothpaste in the bag which Olga gave me. I could brush my teeth without it, but there was a small round box wrapped in the towel. Tooth powder, cute, one point for me being somewhere in the past. I washed myself quite quickly, also due to the ice cold water. Someone was coming quickly, or more like running towards me. I turned around. Okay, it was Slavia dressed in a tracksuit. This girl would probably look good in anything. Buying a uniform, bikini, probably even a spacesuit. Hey there. Ahoy, what's up? Good morning, yeah. Oh yeah, real smooth. Why didn't you come for the breakfast? I overslept. I said it as if I was proud about it. But Olga gave me some sandwiches. Oh, great then. Don't forget about the lineup. Yeah, sure. As if I could forget. Right, I gotta run. Enjoy yourself. She waved goodbye to me and disappeared around the paths blend. Looks like it's a couple of minutes until the lineup. I should quickly pass by my home to drop off my washing bag and eat the sandwiches, and then head to the square. I swung open the door of the camp leader's cabin and rushed inside as if jumping into the last car of a desperate train. It didn't turn out to be the best idea because inside I found Olga, who was changing. I froze on the spot, trying not to breathe. Finally, the camp leader noticed me. Semyon! I looked away immediately. Have you heard of knocking? Now get out. Yeah, that was really clumsy. Although I did enjoy the sight. Olga followed me out in a minute. Here, take this. Now it is your home too. Oh, she handed me a key. I put it in my pocket. Home. Of course, if you disregard how fantastical the current events were. Sorry, my mouse is getting in the way. Events were, this camp was far from being the worst place on earth, but to call it home, just after one day spent here, I doubt I'll be able to do so. So that's a good point actually. See, you can't call a place home just because you have slept there for one day, but I think I would. Like I know this is my place, this is where I stay, this is where I sleep, but I wouldn't mind, sleeping somewhere else every day. Like that wouldn't bother me. Like it hadn't earlier when I changed places. Like I completely forgot about my old place, and then when I came back to this old place, I completely forgot about the new place, the now old place, whatever. But the point is, yeah, I'm not really a person who is very picky with his home. Like, oh no, I'm not calling this a home. Like, I'll call anything a home. The place where I sleep, I'll just call it home. Anything, yeah, sorry, let me just sneeze because I'm a human being and I have to sneeze. Okay, alright, let's go, we're late. But what about the sandwiches? Just eat them on the way. We were passing along the lines of the pioneers' cabins while I was tucking into the ham sandwiches, and Olga kept on talking and talking. She was buzzing like a game of Operation with Parkinson's, but I cared about nothing but the food. Understood? Huh? You weren't listening. Sorry. Today's the first day of your new life as a pioneer, and you should do your best so that it becomes a happy life. Yeah, definitely. I'm serious. A pioneer has many duties. Great responsibility is conferred upon him to participate in social work, to help with his juniors, to study and study and study again. We here are all like one big family. And you will become a part of it. Yeah, a part. I'd even seen a party membership card. If it could save me from listening to this nonsense, I hope that after your team here is over, you'll keep the most pleasant memories about our camp. Memories that will last your whole life. And when will this term end? Why do you keep asking silly things? It seems I won't get any information from her. A shame, really. This world appears to be so friendly, but it never bothered to introduce itself to me. Perhaps now I can take things somewhat easier than yesterday. It seems like I have some unspoken ceasefire with it. It isn't trying to hurt me, but I'm forbidden from asking questions. Of course, the situation isn't a pleasant one, but what can I do about it? A bad peace. A bad peace is better than a good dispute. The most important thing for you now, is to make the best out of the time you will spend here. I'll do my best. Honestly, I was very tired of this conversation. It would be good to know where where that here is. But we came to the square. The pioneers were already lined up. What? Is somebody not here yet? Nope. All here. She looked around at her brave pioneer troops. Alright, go stand somewhere. Weird. Why did she tell me there are no more sleeping places? While the chief was running her mouth about our plans for the week, I stared at the people. A few heads away from me stood Electronic. A little further, Lena. That's Slavia. At the end of the line, Olyana and Alyssa. So wait, this is I don't know who this is. This is Electronic. This is Slavia. This is Lena. Is it Lena? Yeah, Lena. This is Alyssa. This is Olyasa, and I don't know who this one is. Everyone I had met was here. Olga spoke about some competitions, and I turned my attention to the monument. Shenda. I could not remember any revolutionary with a similar name. He had a weird posture too, as if he was looking around with distrust, maybe contempt, or even disdain. Probably some local reader. You know what? I'm gonna keep it here. Can I just be right back? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Right, let's daydreaming again. Slavia brought me back to reality. Olga stood nearby. Still remember the plan for the week. The plan. I will never forget the plan. Perfect. She looked at Slavia. Did you bring it? Yes. Slavia handed me a piece of paper. It's a checklist. Here are 4 tasks to check off. Do it all today. Before you start, sign up for a club. There are some clubs in the clubhouse and a musical club in a separate building. Then visit the infirmary. And finally visit the library. Got it? Yes, then the checklist seemed like a good chance to find out something, since I had to go to places I haven't been before. Then come on, start right now. What about lunch? Don't worry, I'll bring you more sandwiches. Checklist is more important. Good luck. Okay, wow. They departed too fast for me to ask anything else. Missed breakfast, now I'll miss lunch too. This ain't good. Maybe I'll manage it in time somehow. Lunch starts at 1 p.m. Then again, if I'll go there, I might miss a place from the checklist. Okay, it's too early to go to the canteen anyway. Oh wow, wow, holy shit, wait, what? This is how big this thing is? Okay, wait, this is the bus stop, right? And then there's the clubhouse. Then there's the music club on the left. Shower, boiling room, admin building. Wait, I can. Oh wait, what's this thing? This is where people live, right? Am I living here in the admin building? I really have a feeling I'm living here. God, this camp is huge. I've never been to a camp before. If a camp is this huge, I'll go to stay there for at least 5 months or so. It looks really fun. Then they have the square. Yeah, the thing that I remember now. The infirmary, the library. What's the scene? I don't know what the scene is. Kitchen dining hall. Then wait, where's the canteen? I think this is the canteen, right? Dining hall. I'm gonna assume this is the canteen. And there we have the warehouse, the volleyball court, Diam. And where was the football thing? Also, the football thing was here. The gymnasium, locker room, shower. Is WC supposed to be washroom? I'm gonna guess. Yeah, because there's one here near this area. There's one here near the clubs. And there's one here near this area. And there's one here near all the football thing. So I'm gonna assume. Wow, there's a lot of things here. And this badminton, then there's this beach. And what's this? Boys. I don't know. Then we have the boathouse. Why do we have the boathouse? Wow, that's so fucking cool. Why do we have the boathouse? Is the boathouse even part of the camp? I'm not really sure. Closest one aisle, the long aisle. Let's go to the clubhouse first, I think. We are the gender, right? Let's start from there first. Let's go to the clubhouse. I went to the clubhouse, to tell the truth. I never really liked extracurricular activities. I actually liked them, but then I really got bored of the extracurricular, whatever, fuck off. At school, I used to find any excuse to skip extra classes. At university, I had no interest in participating in the student council. Well, actually, same here. I was interested in boxing. I wasn't interested in boxing, aeromodeling, or sewing. So I came here just to check off the box. Oh god, this is really beautiful. Nobody was there. I found myself in something like a hut of a junior robot enthusiast. There were wires and simple printed circuits scattered everywhere. Chips and on the table. And on the table proudly stood as oscillograph. What is oscillograph? I heard voices from another room and then two pioneers appeared. One was electronic, the other one I didn't know. Hey Simeon, we've been expecting you. And my phone is just buzzing off a lot. Whatever, fuck off. We've been expecting you. It seems he knows everything about everyone. Oh, why were you expecting me? Well, of course, because you came to sign up to our cybernetics club, didn't you? He didn't let me answer. And this is Shurik, he's in charge here. I assume there's only 2 of you in the club. Well, you can say that, it's 3 now. Shurik came up to me and assertively offered his hand. His face was somewhat familiar. Welcome to the club. Yup. Now I'll show you around. Make yourself at home. Guys, I just wanted to... Well, we are always welcoming new members. He said it in such a way that the anthem of the Soviet Union suddenly started playing in my mind. It's amazing. I even remember the words. In the first grade, I had a textbook with the lyrics in the back. Oh no, I just wanted you to sign my checklist. Yep, you sign up to the club and we'll sign your checklist. He grinned. I was getting ready for a long and boring argument, but then I heard someone enter. Oh, it's Slavia. I don't know why she just keeps interrupting this. Like, I know you're cute and all, but can you just, not. I'm already going through a lot. I don't know what shit's going on around, and fucking my phone is ringing here. Just fuck off. And it was Slavia. She came out of nowhere. Oh, Simeon, I hope they're not giving you any trouble. She narrowed her eyes, looking at the future of the motherland's robotics industry. I know these two, they can. Well, actually, I just need to get my checklist signed. I decided to take advantage of the situation. Nice. No problem. Give it to me. Slavia took the paper and marched up to Shurik. Sign it. Hold on, we're not done yet. You're done. Sign it now. She gave Shurik such a threatening look that it made him lose every possible objection. He wrote some squiggles on the checklist. Thanks, Slavia. Then I moved on in a mellow mood. Cool, the clubhouse is gone. Let's go to the music club. And my phone is vibrating a lot. Like, dude, what's with the text? I'll be right back. Okay, sorry for that. Welcome back. Okay, let's go to the music club now. Oh, this looks good. The music club, a small one level building, was located some distance from the other camp buildings. I opened the door and entered without hesitation. Oh, please knock. Someone could be changing in there. There were enough instruments for a whole orchestra here drums, guitars, even a piano. I spent some time looking closely at every instrument, waiting to guess the time period they were from. But suddenly I heard a crawling sound coming from underneath the piano. I'm streaming! Cover that shit! A girl seems like she was looking for something. She was standing on all fours in such a suggestive position that I hesitated to speak at first. Excuse me? Ah, who's there? Come on, hit your head. She tried to stand up, but the bottom of the piano prevented her from doing so. Ouch! She struggled out. Sorry, I scared you. It's nothing. Oh, you got a checklist. You must be new here. Ah, yes. My name is Miku. No, really, I'm serious. Nobody believes me, but it's my real name. My mother is Japanese. My dad met her when he was building. Well, it wasn't him who was building. He's an engineer. And and he was working on a nuclear power plant or a dam or a bridge, whatever. Nice, Japanese people. She was talking so fast she swallowed half the words she tried to pronounce. I'm Simeon. Great, want to be in our club? It's only me here now, but it will be the two of us then. Do you play anything? When I became antisocial, I bought a guitar and learned a few chords, but then I forgot about it. Since I quit everything that required more than a couple of hours to learn, I wasn't planning to do anything like that really. Oh, it's okay, I'll teach you. Maybe a trumpet, for example. About a violin. I know it all, honestly. There was no point in arguing with the orchestral girl since there was only another cascade of words waiting to blast at me. Hey, I'll think about it. Can you just sign it for now? Yes, sure. Come to me. Be sure to come around. I'll sing too. I'll sing you some Japanese folk songs, or maybe if you're not into that, something more contemporary. So for that. Who's watching the stream? Hey, Arise, are you watching the stream? Just give me a thumbs up if you're watching the stream. Or whoever's watching the stream, just let me know who's watching the stream. Because I see one viewers, but then I don't know who it is. Sure, thanks. Gotta go now. Of course, come anytime. God, this girl is super, super crazy. And I like it. The end of her sentence stayed in sight. It might be nice to hang around with the guitar in the evening, but in such company. Exactly, I know, right? It's very freaky, but I like freaky girls. I turned to leave and came face to face with Alyssa. I think I'm gonna stick around with this girl if there's a choice. I'm not really sure because a lot of games, they give you a choice, like a choice-based game. I hope this is like a very diversion game. Like this goes according to how you choose, how you decide to act upon things or situations or dialogues. And I really hope I get to not ignore and avoid Alyssa, because I think Alyssa looks weird now, but that's just the trick of the game to make you think that maybe you're making the wrong decision, but at the end this turns out to be the most accurate decision. I hope so, at least. Or maybe the developer just played us and he just did this because, you know what, it's simple as that. Okay, she eyed me suspiciously. Why did you come? Checklist. Oh, got it signed? Yes. Then move it. Alyssa went inside and I hurried to leave the place. God, what's wrong with Alyssa, man? They're trying to pretend. They're trying to show her as if like she's some kind of. What's the point of visiting the infirmary? Now let's see what infirmary is. I think it's a thing. I'm not sure. Wait. A hospital. Oh, so it's like an emergency room. My health was fine. Okay, I could have just waited for the next dialogue. Fine. My health was fine. The fresh local air clearly did me some good. I felt fresher than usual. But I just have to visit it. I entered a common infirmary, like my school doctor's room. A middle-aged woman sat at the table. Obviously, she was a nurse. She gazed intently at me, assessing me while continuing to write something. Wow, this is super weird. I'm not even gonna fall for her. Well, hello, pioneer, said the nurse without being distracted from her work. Good afternoon, ma'am. I have something. Sit down, please. I looked around the room. On the couch, I sat down. Strip, she said, all of it with an even tone. What for? To inspect, to auscultate, to check on your health. By the way, my name is Violet. I'm just gonna Violet. My name is Violet, but you can call me Viola. She turned to me. What are you waiting for? Strip. But I have no health issues. I've got this. I neatly gave her the paper. Later, she took the stethoscope off her neck, seeming like she intended to probe me with it. But then someone knocked on the door. Of course, it's gonna be Slavia. Come in. In a moment, the door opened while an electronic rushed inside. Okay, that's very weird. Oh, wow, what happened? Hello, I fell during the football game. Oh, that's totally not a football game injury. Your eye is black and blue. Somebody just punched you. Football game, nonsense, of course. I'm okay, but Olga, there's a massive bruise under Electronic's eye. I doubt that this could be a football injury exactly. Sit down, I'll have a look, she said to him. And you, pass me your checklist. The nurse quickly signed it and continued. If something hurts, come to me immediately, pioneer. I decided not to answer and went out, closing the door behind me. The nurse is surely something else. God damn, that was really weird. Okay, library. Actually, I love reading, but spending my days in a library under the current circumstances was well beyond my scope. So I'd better hurry up with this checkpoint. As I stepped inside, a memory from my childhood emerged in my head. Oh, this looks like an elementary school library. It's really cool. It looks really good. It was very vivid. I'm 7 or 8 years old. I'm at the library with my mother. Exactly. While she's looking through the books I might need for my studies, I'm sitting in the corner and looking through their collection of comic books. Back then I didn't know why they had so many or why couldn't I take some with me. The notion of collective property was something my mind hadn't grasped yet at that age. However, back then, the whole concept of property was pretty hazy to me. This memory seemed even stranger now, while I was standing in this particular camp where they might have managed to build communism in 3 years. Soviet symbolism was all over the place. Like, yeah, I can tell, all over the place, and the shelves were full of related literature. Of course, I wasn't planning to read any of these. Getting acquainted with a full collection of books by Marx was the last thing on earth I would think of. Okay, where's the librarian? I didn't spend much time looking for her. I looked closely. Short hair, thick glasses, rather cute face. She was snoring so peacefully I couldn't just wake her up. I can wait. If she doesn't wake up in half an hour, maybe then. I couldn't just sit here, so I took a random book from the nearest bookshelf. Arthur Schopenhauer, The World as Will and Representation. I opened it roughly in the middle and started reading. The life of a man, with its endless upkeep, wants, and suffering, is to be regarded as the explanation and paraphrase of the procreative act, that is, the absolute claim of the will to live. And furthermore, it is also the reason the man owes nature his death and thinks with anxiety of his death. Is this not the evidence that our existence involves guilt? At any rate, we always exist, from time to time paying with death for our birth. We always exist and alternately bear all the joy and sorrow of life, since neither of both can pass us without some effect. That is the result of our stated will to live. Thus, the fear of death, which in spite of all the miseries of life holds us firmly to it, is really elusive. But just as elusive is the impulsive which has attracted us into it. This attraction itself may be seen objectively as the mutual longing glances of two lovers, but they are the purest expression of the will to live. In its affirmation, how gentle and tender it is. It wants happiness and quite pleasure and mild joys for itself, for others, for all. Someone knocked on the door. I closed the book quickly and put it back in its place. What a nice habit, knocking on the door. I should pick it up. It was Lena. Oh, hi. She smiled. Hi, I just wanted to return a book. She had the copy of Gone with the Wind that I saw yesterday. Oh, Xenia is sleeping. I'll come back later. Oh, I'm awake. I turned around in surprise to look at her. She eyed me closely from behind a table. What is it you wanted? I need you to check here. Give it here. She quickly signed the paper and gave it back to me. She had this look on her face that made me want to keep quiet. Lena came up to her to return the book. I thanked Xenia and went out. God, this is a lot of pressure. Finally, I got all the signatures. Now I had to go back to Olga and give it to her. She was sitting in front of a cabin, reading a book. Doesn't look like a good role model for the perfect pioneer that she was planning to turn me into. I wonder if her responsibilities extended beyond giving fiery speeches at the lineup, scolding Uliana, and getting involved into my moral, physical, and ideological growth. Here, I offered her my checklist. She placed it in her pocket without even looking at the signatures. Great, I could have signed it myself without going anywhere. Perfect, so did you meet our nurse? Yes. For some reason, her question sent shivers down my spine. Which gloves have you signed up for? I didn't, I need to think first. That's a pity. It's vital for you to sign in somewhere tomorrow. Of course, sure. Right, it's time to go for dinner. About time, I was getting hungry. It took you an entire day to go around few clubs in a single camp. Like, how much time does it take? It should have been lunchtime actually, but you know what, never mind. I headed to the canteen together with Olga. I looked at the sky and noticed that the sun was already setting. On the porch stood Alyssa, Electronic. I think Alyssa punched Electronic. Uliana and Slavia. Why is everybody here? As we came up, I heard what they were talking about. And never call me Twache again, or you'll get another one. I didn't call you that. You hear things. He did. I heard it all. You weren't even there. I was in the bushes. Come on, guys, stop it. So it wasn't a football injury. Electronic suffered earlier today. The nurse did a good job. I couldn't even see his black eye. Olga came up to them and asked about the ruckus. What happened? Alyssa and Chezikov. What? Alyssa and Electronic. I didn't do anything. She struck with antipathy, whatever, and went inside. Right, dinner time. Okay, so at least I know what happened. And why is this the same guy thrice? What? And why are there so many people and I've met so few? I entered last. There weren't too many free seats. There were free chairs near Alyssa across the canteen, but I'd sooner starve for a week or two than risk my head near her. Don't do that, come on, give me a choice to do that. There was also a seat near Ulyana, but I'm not into the traditional Chinese, whatever crawls cuisine. Finally, a free chair near Miku. Looks like I'll have to pick my poison. You mind if I sit here? Oh yeah, sure. I mean, no, I don't mind. I mean, yes, you can sit here. I sat down. She's very, all around the place. I like it. Look, it's buckwheat today. Do you like buckwheat and chicken? I don't like chicken. Well, not that I don't like it. But if you'd ask me, what would I prefer? Say, stroganoff beef or like out? No, maybe just a hamburger. Or a rump steak. Do you like rump steak? I'm not that picky about my food. And that's the simple truth. Oh, is that so? But the desserts, they aren't really good here. I like the ice cream. I like the ice cream. Do you like ice cream? I just love 48 Kopecks and Leningradsko. Oh, sorry, I kept talking about myself. 48 Kopecks Leningradsko ice cream brands popular in late Soviet Union. Maybe you like the Eskimo better. Then I was starting to get on my nerves thanks to such company. And I'm not the kind of person that can just ignore someone who's talking to them. Even her. You're at the same table after all. I once bought a waffle cone and started eating, and then you know what? I found a screw there. A real screw. Can you imagine that? That was a bolt. I don't really know. Screws are those that you tighten with screwdrivers, and bolts that you turn with a wrench, yes? If there was a speed eating contest going on, I would probably be in the top 3 winners by now. Right, I'll be going. Enjoy your meal. I got up and headed outside. Oh, that's rude. Come on. I was saying something, but our words were drowned by the crowd of loudly dining pioneers. You're just being rude. Come on, Semyon. I went out and sat on the stairs, waiting for my dinner to settle down for bed. I just sat there and watched night fall. Nice word. Everything is so lively here during the day. Kids laughing and yelling happily, fooling and running around, constant chatter, games going on, and swimming at the beach. But after dark, the camp changes entirely. The sounds of day were swapped for silence, only now and then broken by crickets chirping or a night bird. The camp was going to sleep, and every shadow you could see things, maybe a ghost, or a spirit of the forest, or a wild animal. A human being would be the last thing to expect. That is how it looked last night and now. The locals followed their routine very strictly. In the day, the camp was theirs. In the night, it belonged more to the forces of nature than to humans. Someone touched my shoulder. I looked back. It was Electronic. Let's go play cards. Cards? Yep, I invented a new game. A good one. Good, like how? Well, first we got to find the cards, then I'll tell you. Then go find them, what's the problem? Oh, only Olga has them, and she won't give them to me. Why so? Well, the last time when Olga and Slavia came out at the porch. Olga, Semyon just wanted to ask you about the possibility of getting playing cards. Actually, for what purpose? We invented a new game. No, not we, you did. What game? I needed the cards to show you. I don't like this. Well, if Semyon is with you, then perhaps it's okay. To be really honest, we'll go fetch them together, Olga. Go get the cards with... Wait, did Slavia say that? We'll go fetch them together, Olga. Okay, now this is going really bad. I know that. Go get the cards with Slavia. If you don't mind. Sure, let's go. We headed towards my cabin. Roughly halfway, there's Slavia stopped. Hey, I just remembered the cards are in my cabin. Good timing. And where's that? It's just down this road. Let's go. We reached a cabin that, in fact, looked more like a trailer. Just wait here a minute, I'll be back. Do you mean this one? It just took her a few seconds to come back. There, she showed me a deck of pretty worn out cards. These must be marked in and out. That's unsportsmanlike. What happened to fair play? Tell me about it. It's hard to cheat when you don't know the rules. Shall we go? Let's go. On our way back, I decided to try and find out something. How long have you been here? At this camp? About a week. I see, and where do you come from? I'm from the north. That is? The cold north. She looked at me and smiled. Looks like nobody in this camp is inclined to answer even the most innocent of questions. I tried to approach from another angle. And what do you like? What do you mean? Well, your hobbies. Oh, I like nature. Strange, she's not very talkative today for some reason. Nature, I see. Want to become a natural historian? More like a normal historian. I was always interested in our nation's history. That would suit her well indeed. It appeared that among all the locals, she was the only one who had nothing to hide. What if she came here just like me and simply could not trust anyone enough to tell? I tried testing the waters. And why did you choose this camp? I didn't. My parents got a voucher for me from their work. Another failure. Well, if you could choose, it's nice here. I don't think I would choose some other place if I could. Here it's like you are becoming another person. That was how I saw it. What do you mean another person? It's just that there's so many possibilities. You can learn so much, meet so many new interesting people here. Now she started to sound like our chief, which raised a red flag for me. I decided to stop with the questions for now. Okay. When we came back, Olga told Slavia, I just remember that the cards were at your place. It's okay, we got it. Good. Slavia and Olga went inside. I was going to follow, but someone grabbed my hand. Alyssa. A gaze sent a shiver down my spine, not a nice one. You want something? I asked carefully. You're going to play this stupid game? Yes, something wrong with it. Nope, nothing. She was turning to leave, but then slowly looked back and smiled. So you play cards? A little. I couldn't figure out what she wanted. It's only Durak, and that's it. Durak card game popular in USSR, similar to President. I don't know, I have no idea. Only Durak, and that's it? As if you're a poker star. Well, yes, technically. You don't have a chance. Why? Because. So you know the rules. Of course. Well, then you'll have the upper hand. I couldn't see why would we go on talking and motion towards the door. Why do you keep trying to leave? Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Let's make a bet. What do you mean? You're such a slow poke. The cards. What else? And what do you want to bet on? That I'll win. That's quite a possible outcome. I agreed calmly. So are you afraid? No, I'm not. I'm not big on bets when I don't like my chances. And you're not big on taking risks too. Such an astute observation, I'm impressed. Right then, No, you're not. Now what? I sighed in exhaustion. She was starting to annoy me with her rubbish talk about some pointless bet. If you won't bet with me, I'll tell everyone that you tried to seduce me. What? You heard me. I could imagine her doing this. Don't be stupid. Who's gonna believe you? I've been here less than 2 days besides. Want to try your luck? Right. And what will happen if I win? I won't tell anyone anything. What if I lose? Slowpoke mode again. I'll tell everyone you tried to seduce me. I told you already. So you're telling me now that I have to work to prove that I didn't do something when I didn't actually do it. Oh, that's how you want to look at it. Not a simple decision. On one hand, it was stupid to agree. I didn't know the rules and gambling was my thing. On the other hand, she could really make my life hell. Then again, can I even trust her? She can do it even if I win. So have you made a decision? I was going to answer, but suddenly Lena came around from behind me. What? Nothing. Lena hurried inside. So, Oh god, I don't want to bet with Alyssa. This is really bad. I'm gonna I'm gonna lose anyway, but then I'll bet and lose rather than not betting, and it's just gonna at least I have a chance at not losing to her. I'll just bet. I may regret it 100 times. Fine, I'll do it. She smiled. But if I win, yeah, all fair, no cheating. Alyssa turned, went up the stairs and inside the canteen. Why am I doing this? Because she can set me up regardless if she wants to, since she decided to anyway. I let out a heavy sigh and followed her through the door. Inside, everything was ready. A few pioneers stood here and there chatting. The tables were moved out of the way to make room for players and spectators. I looked around. Something was going on in far corner. When I came closer, I saw a larger piece of paper with a diagram drawn on it. Holy shit. Is this me? Why do I look like this? Am I put against Lena? And then I have to fight either... What was his name? Ryuk? I think his name is Ryuk. My name was amongst the players. And who came up with all this? I patted Electronic, who was standing near. Well, of course, it was your most humble servant. He bowed to me jokingly. This made me uncomfortable to the point of squirming. And why in the world am I among the players then? I was disappointed. A few seconds ago, I thought I still had a slim chance to evade this tournament. Then I wouldn't have to fear Alyssa's revenge for losing the bet with her. But now that hope was gone. It was pure coincidence. Yeah, right, coincidence. Except that I was already acquainted with every one of the contestants. While there were a few dozen of other pioneers standing in the room, I was seized by anxiety. It's the feeling of being watched while standing in an empty room with no windows and doors. God. Will there be a prize? I asked him lazily. I wanted to distract myself with a pointless conversation. Electronic was just about to answer when Uliana came out of nowhere and started jumping around him. Prizes, prizes. I heard something about prizes. Do you know what is the main ethos of the Olympic Games? It's not the winning, but the taking part that counts, of course. Thank you for letting me know, game. I knew that. The only thing that I know is something that you tell me, and things that I don't know, you're not gonna tell me. Fine. A what? No. I understand when you grow up. She made a wary face and jabbed Electronic in the ribs. So what about the prize? Well, I don't know. It's not up to me. He made a helpless gesture. Really, if they came up with a stupid game, at least they could give the winner a chocolate medal or something. Uliana suddenly jumped and raced off to somewhere. I wish I was that optimistic. So, what about the rules? Wait a bit. Not everyone is here yet. I looked around the canteen. Alyssa, Slavia, Lena, Miko and Shurik were here. It seems like everyone is here. Not everyone. Xenia isn't here. Does he feel uneasy or is it just me? She's not here. So what? Pick someone else instead. No, I can't do that, he answered slowly. I decided not to ask exactly why can't he do this. Well, go fetch us or something, I don't know. He can't go, he's the host of the event. The camp leader appeared as if from nowhere. But Olga, Electronic whined. Simeon will go. Right, Simeon? She looked and smiled at me. Of course, who else? Where is she? In the library, I guess. Okay, I dragged my feet towards the door. Please hurry. Is Slavia coming? What's Electronic's problem anyway? Thank you, Slavia is not coming. Night is coming soon. I was going to take my time, so I slowly paced towards the library. But I found Xenia before I even expected. She was sitting on a bench at the square, staring at Jenda, who was silent as always. What are you doing here? Everyone was looking for you. Sitting here, as you can see, she frowned. Well, let's go. I don't want to go. She looked away. Well, why not? I don't want to. I sat beside her. Listen, I don't like the idea of this contest myself, but we can't let everyone down. I surely didn't sound like myself there. A couple of days ago, I wouldn't even think of saying something like that. Xenia looked at me with surprise on her face. So everyone is waiting for me? Isn't that exactly what I said? Yes. I would go anyway. She frowned and hid her face. But why? I gestured with my arms, wondering. I don't know how to play cards. So what? Same problem here. Then how can you play? What? You can only do things that you read about in books or something. Of course. She was surprised. And what if you end up in Antarctica and you have to rely on hurting polar bears to survive? Polar bears don't live in Antarctica. Xenia smiled. Doesn't matter, it's just an example. Come on, it's not like someone's life depends on the result. She took her time to think. I just don't want to let anybody down. Right, I agreed sarcastically. And don't you think anything I don't think anything funny about that. I didn't get what she meant, but anyway, obviously everyone has their weak spots. In a minute we both were back at the canteen. Everyone looked at electronic. So, he cleared his throat. Each round consists of one game. In case of a draw, you replay the game. After this, the loser drops out and the next round begins. Since the number of volunteers, he looked at me, since the number of players is just 8, we'll have only 3 rounds. Is everything clear? The crowd cheered. And what are the prizes? The prizes, what are they? Uliana, cut it out. Slavia stepped forward and tried to catch Uliana. I won't rest until the prize is mine. Seemed like this girl alone had enough energy for a warp jump to Alpha Centauri. Wait, what? Centaur. I think that's a reference that I'm missing. She repeated it over and over. Stop it. Slavia tried to reason with her. Electronics seemed to be getting dizzy from all this running around. Let's start already, I said calmly and added to Uliana, or you won't get any prizes. Looks like my argument got through to her, so she took her place. Slavia followed her, giving me a grateful smile as she passed. The pioneers finally settled down. I approached the table that Lena sat behind. You don't mind? She looked up and blushed. Don't worry, I don't know the rules myself. And how can I be sure that it's not only myself? I sat down. Turns out we'll have to play the first round together. Yes, finally electronics started to explain the rules. Look at the cards carefully. There are exactly 6 of them in front of you. I hope everyone here knows how to count, of course. Now you can look at them. After everyone had a look at the cards, Electronic moved on. The rules here are simple to poker. Oh god, I don't know how to play poker. I hope everyone knows how to play. I knew the rules but wasn't so sure about the others. First of all, it's a top card, that 1 pair, then 2 pairs, then 3 of a kind. And so on, no flushes or straights though. In first round, you choose a card which you would like to take from your opponent. In turn, your opponent can choose to swap 2 of his cards around twice, or he can choose not to do so if he doesn't need the card which you are taking. Take a note here that your opponent can see which cards are trading places. In the next step, your opponent takes a card he chooses, and so on. I think it's pretty clear. It wasn't too clear to me. Yeah, it's not clear at all. It's not too clear. It's not clear at all. I don't... What? Hey you, Einstein. Yelled at him from our table. I didn't get a thing. Yeah, exactly. You'll figure it out as we go. Okay, Electronic went onto the table with a diagram, leaving Uliana to smolder in solitude. You go first. I hoped I could get my mind around the game fast enough. Lena, more perplexed than usual, reached out for my cards. In the middle of the table, her hand stopped. Will you? Yeah, I should be protecting my card. What was it Electronic said? To try to confuse my opponent, I can swap 2 of my cards twice. Or I can choose not to. Should I protect it or not? By the way, I can also agree and give her the card she chose right away. Oh god, what is this pattern of cards? Why do these cards look so different? Like, can't you use the... Is this supposed to be heart and... Why is it Soviet Union? Take another card if she wants to. Or she might not. Holy shit. This game just turned from a visual novel to a fucking card game. Why? God. What do I do? Take this. Things were becoming clear, or at least comprehensible. Now it's my turn. I can take back my card from her, or I can choose another one. I'll choose this one. Lena can try and protect her card, but if I watch her closely, I can take the card I choose regardless of her movements. Yeah, of course I'll want this one. I'll want this one. I made it. Electronic, who was silently watching our game, nodded in approval. Looks like now we are getting somewhere. Now, during the round, opponents trade cards 3 times. Keep an eye on each of them. Penetrate your opponent with your eyes. A chuckle, penetrate. What's so funny? Okay, oh, never mind. Oh, I get it now. Sorry. I tried to keep a straight face. He stared at me for a moment, then moved on. And then we turned the cards up to see whose hand is better. Electronic went back to his diagram. Oh, get the worst card. Oh, God. Take the worst card. Oh, freaking shit. You know what? Give me this one. I know this is the king one. Then I'm gonna hope this is a good one. Then I'm gonna hope this is the last one. This is gonna be the good one. This is a Q. It's fine. Take it. No, don't take it. No! What? Wasn't it a choice that I can just let her take the card rather than switching the other two? God, this is fucking... I don't even know which was it. Oh yeah, thank you. It's back again. No, don't take that. Please take this one. Yes, thank you. Yeah, fine, take that. Fucking go on, whatever. I'll take this one. I think that was the king one. I'm not even sure. It's as simple as that. Oh, it's a 4. Oh, shit. Win. Oh ho, I win. I won. Seriously, it's hard to play a game that was made up on the spot and not by yourself either. But I won, although the moment of glory was stained by the fact that it was Lena who was the loser. She's not very confident in general, but now she's lost. I'm too embarrassed to even look at her now. Probably I should have lost to boost her self-esteem, but I have a bet with Elisa. Meanwhile, Electronic proudly announced that the first round is over. Okay, I won. Alyssa, of course. Alyssa's gonna end up to the finals. A list of those who made it in the second round appeared on the scheme after a little while. Semi-finals pairs consisted of Alyssa versus Xenia and Uliana versus me. A doomed sigh escaped me. Uliana immediately took a seat in front of me. Ha! She glared at me, grinning. How did you manage to outplay Lena? Cheated, perhaps. I'm not you. I just know how to play cards. At least that's what I want her to believe. And how could you outplay Shurik? Ah. Uliana waved her hand, showing how easy it was. I threatened to join his club. What? I threatened to join his club. She grinned yet again. What do you hold back to? Not a chance. Ugh. Then I'll choose which card I give to you myself. What? Then I'll choose which card I give to you myself. Did you hear the rules? Screw them. It looked like she really didn't care. Okay, but I choose the cards to give to you too. Deal. Inspired by my victory in the first round, I ventured upon the dangerous move. I could have argued, appealed to Electronic, and eventually had my own way, but somehow I felt truly confident in this outcome of the round. Yes, we were breaking the rules, but I was the same boat as Uliana. I looked up at Electronic. It's time to begin the semi-finals, he commanded. Carefully checked my cards, ensuring that Uliana couldn't see them. God, this is getting very uncomfortable for this time being. I'll take this one. Whose turn? Opponents? Am I supposed to give her this? Oh god. Take this one. She's gonna give me the worst card, right? Oh fucking god. Take this back again. No, this is mine. I'm not gonna take that. Oh god, this is bad. So can I give her... Oh, I win? Oh god, what? Okay, I got the... Oh yeah. Makes sense. Hey, this isn't fair. You should have held back and lost. She angrily puffed up her cheeks, making her resemble Humpty Dumpty. Let's have a rematch, but this time you have to hold back, got it? It wasn't only me who heard her, but the entire room, even electronic. No rematches allowed. Oleana completely ignored him. You have to lose. I don't have a slightest intention of playing with you for a second time. I said calmly, fine, you want it that way? Yes, that way. Then I'll put the word out that you have sexually harassed Lisa. Oh, come on, dude. Really? She whispered. What? I leaned over the table and gave her a menacing glare. So you have been eavesdropping? I just heard it while passing by. Anyway, it's much better to play an extra round then. She can certainly do that. I sighed an appeal to Electronic. Not a problem, we'll have to quick rematch. Ah, whatever. He shrugged. So rematch has started. God, I'll have to lose. Yeah, take take this one. I have 2 5s. Take away the 5. Good, take away the J. Oh god, come on, it's not my. Oh, Jesus, really? I won by mistake. How bad could you be? Easy peasy. I said and reclined on my seat. That's not fair. I hope she won't demand another rematch. How come? I chuckled. Okay, said Uliana, agreed gravely, and got up from the table. I studied the tournament scheme closely, trying to understand who's going to be my final rival. At the same moment, Alyssa took place at my table. I pulled a dumb, fiend smile, like I'm afraid of her. Congratulations. I'm expecting to win. I'm expecting that you'll keep your promise. Okay, let's roll. Okay. Okay, I already have no matches. I'll do this. I'll do this. Take that. God. Give me that. Jesus, give me that. It's a freaking 3. I don't... Take it back. Why would you take back a 6? Give me this one. Whatever, give... God, Jesus, you have a good mix. Give me this one. No, then give me this one. I have a 6. I have a 5. God, Jesus, take freaking 4. You're ruining it for me. Do you know that? Take this. Then I'll take this. 9. Oh, I have 9. Oh, I win. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Woo. All right. Here we go. Win. Hooray, I won. That'll let Alyssa know who rules the roost here. That means that betting with her wasn't a waste. Now the only thing left is to hope that she will not spread the false gossip because of her loss. Suddenly I got a desire to celebrate my own victory and have a dip at the beach. To tell the truth, I do not really know how to swim, but the possibility of diving into the cool water under the moonlight seemed attractive. After all, I spent the whole of yesterday in my winter clothes, and surely you could nicely wring the sweat out of me. In the evening, no one should be here, so I took off all my clothes except my underpants and entered the water. If only I knew, I would have taken my swimming trunks along. Usually, it was enough for me to swim for 15-20 meters, but this time the euphoria of my victory spurred me on to break this record. I swam slowly and tactfully, watching every movement of my arms and legs and keeping my breath steady. Oh god, all of a sudden, wham, a strike on my head sent me underwater. I started to drown but managed to force myself to jump out and grab the nearby boy. I turned around and Alyssa swimming after me. What the hell are you doing? What am I doing? Hailing the winner. And if I started drowning, what if I started drowning? Will I save you? Of course. It was just too dangerous to stay here. She could easily sink me again. I gathered all my strength and swam to the shore. I slowly started to catch my breath. Beach sand stuck to my body from head to toe. After some time, Alyssa came out of the water. You know, you swim well. I wouldn't say so. Yeah, you too. Well, it wasn't that obvious. I said nothing. You won twice against me today. That means I will forget 2 of your debts. What kind of depths is she talking about? It looks like Alyssa has a problem with evaluating reality. Thanks a lot, I said sarcastically. You know, you're not as much of a loser as I thought. Alyssa was wearing a swimsuit, perfectly emphasized the beauty of her figure. Dad, ignore this. Well, taking into account the flaws in her personality, at least this advantages of hers couldn't be taken away. Since when did I become a loser? She smiled cunningly. What's wrong? Aren't you one? Of course not. And how will you prove it? I don't have to prove anything. Oh, so is that it? She said without any anger. Yes, that's it. The silence was expected. A light wind gently played with the waves, sending them to the shore and taking them back after. Alyssa was still looking through me as if it seemed she completely forgot about my presence. Hey, Earth to Alyssa. Her lost look immediately switched back to her normal one. Anyway, bye bye. Weird one. She picked up her clothes lying nearby and left. God, everything is so weird. It was late, but I decided to spend a little bit more time lying on my back and stargazing. Someone's gonna peek. After all, I didn't have that many opportunities for that before. This looks good, by the way. Let's take a look at this. I don't know how do I get rid of the camera, but fine, it looks good. Or I simply try to avoid every opportunity. Well, if we think about it, the light from faraway stars reaches us only after millions of years. Actually, yeah, that's true. Right now I can see the star because it was shining back then, long in the past. And now the star is gone, already exploded. Wait a minute. She took my clothes too. Oh god! I got up and looked around the beach. No doubt about it. Alyssa took my piney uniform. Damn it. And I was just starting to think that maybe she's not so spoiled. I need to come up with an idea quickly. Certainly I could go and complain to Olga, but not in my wet underpants. I don't know which cabin Alyssa lives in either, and knocking on every door is certainly not a good idea. Maybe I should go to Slavia. Yes, of course, at night wearing my underpants. The only thing missing is a rose in my teeth. Overall, it looks like I'm screwed. In the case, I have to do something. I was lucky not so much time had passed since she left, so I could still catch up with Alyssa. Hurry up. In the blink of an eye, I found myself at the square. To my great surprise, Alyssa was sitting on the bench, apparently bored. She had already changed. Give them back. Yeah, sure, take them. She muttered with a guilty tone and handed back my uniform. Don't think I was waiting for you on purpose or anything like that. Alyssa turned her back and set off towards the cabins at easy pace. I was left standing, riveted to the spot. I didn't expect such a twist. The guild did its job, perhaps. Fair chance. Anyway, it's better to keep away from her, and recent events do not change a thing. I headed to Olga's cabin. Didn't you just call it home last time? For the first time today, I finally felt how tired I was. There was no light in the window, so Olga must have... Can't you just call him Olga? Why do you have to use the last name? Must have been sleeping all day. Strangely enough, she waited for me yesterday. I entered the cabin, quietly stripped and laid on the bed. When you think about it, my situation had got any clearer today. In fact, I've spent whole day doing useless stuff. I would have never have even thought about doing something like this in the real world. Although I had plenty of time. How much time I would have here in total is still a mystery. Maybe an eternity, or maybe there are only few minutes left. I just didn't want to think about the past, about how I got to this camp. For the first time in a long while, I felt really tired. Not only emotionally tired, but also physically tired, psychologically tired, and God knows how else tired. I just wanted everyone and everything to shove off. Starting with my own thoughts. I wanted this mess somehow resolved by itself, or at least without my active participation. And what if I'm stuck here forever? And my phone is vibrating again for no goddamn reason. Okay, what if I'm stuck here forever? Then I'll have to get used to it. So just like that, I am not ready. My consciousness slowly drifted away from me and it became progressively hard to concentrate on something distinct. Perhaps it's better to wait until tomorrow. I rolled over and fell asleep. God, this is superly beautiful. I want to stop, but then again, I don't want to stop playing this game. I could just binge play this game. This game is really beautiful. Okay, let's get comfortable. It's gonna go long. The night left a feeling of anxiety behind. I woke up exhausted, both physically and mentally. It happens to me all the time. You see incredibly lucid images in your dream as if you fell into a Hollywood blockbuster with a plot full of twists, well paid actors, and multi-million dollar visual effects, and then you wake up in the morning without remembering a thing. That's what I was trying to do, to restore images shown by my relaxed brain. But that part of my memory was empty, either archived or formatted completely. It's 7 a.m. according to the clock. I seem to be an early bird today. Olga was still sleeping, wrapping so tightly in a hot summer. I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to have a look at myself. Yeah, I'd better shave. Strange idea. Before, twice a month was enough, but now nothing depends on the way I look. I haven't found a razor anyway. What? I haven't found a razor anyway. Why do I even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So breakfast can't start earlier than 9 a.m. and this means I have plenty of time, which I can spend on walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as ice cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me to brace up and come back to reality, whether all these events could be called real. The tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. True. When I returned to the cabin, Olga was already up. She was standing in the front of the mirror and fixing her hair. Good morning, Semyon. Morning. Because of a lack of sleep, my head was still singing and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more. How come you got up so early? It just happened. And no neckerchief once again. I lit myself, not a big deal. On my way to the canteen. I don't think so, so do it now. Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast? How could I forget? And what's the lineup going to be about today? We'll discuss the agenda for the day. So what's the agenda? Frankly speaking, I didn't care for what might be the agenda for a courageous pioneer troop. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12 to 15 hours. Maybe I could manage to avoid enemy locations. I don't see enemy, bro. You'll find that out at the lineup. She gave me a woolly smile. Olga, you know my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather, I believe that's okay to miss the lineup once. I could get all nasty if I fail to control it right there. Where did all this courage come from? I don't know. You have 5 more minutes. I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please? Sure, I'll try, but just in case it all goes down. Oh, fine. On our list for today is cleaning the camp locations, organizing the books in the library, some other minor tasks, and of course, we have a ball in the evening. Ooh, this is getting interesting now. Watch yourself. You must take part in the camp activities today. You bet. Definitely. And now I'd rather... Come on, let's hit the road. I came out of the cabin and hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga to leave. Actually, I didn't have any particular reason to behave this way, but the voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do at the lineup. After the camp leader left, I went back to the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Well, I'm not planning on taking part in community life today. Cleaning and organizing, that's not what someone in my situation would be doing. Should be doing. 2 days have passed and I'm still right here, right where I started. All the residents seemed to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy, weren't communicating with aliens, and had no idea about my time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar, but those peculiarities do not seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't suspect anything wrong. They seem to be even more normal and natural than, let's say, yours truly. This line of reasoning was quite logical. The logical part was the absence of answers. Ordinary people in an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already, somewhere. Dozens of pioneers, or even more, live their familiar lives and do their regular stuff day by day. They don't understand that the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay, but this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of Sovianok camp and its residents. even if they seem to behave the way normal people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now, are those people involved in what's happening to me? Can they give me any answers? Or do I have to seek the truth somewhere else? It seems I overdid it a bit with the thinking. There's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen, or even inside the canteen. Most of them probably had their breakfast before 9 a.m. That's even better. Two's company, three's a crowd. Lena was sitting in the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking with her fork at a and then amorphous lump that vaguely resembled porridge. Whatever. Having a breakfast with her seems like a good idea. We can have a chat in peace, or at least try to have one. I was on the way to her table when suddenly somebody grabbed me by the sleeve. Xenia, the librarian. Get your meal and come. We need to talk. What are you waiting for? I was a bit confused. Pardon, isn't that a bit too sudden? What's wrong? Get your meal and sit down. I suppose that she considers her behavior completely normal. See, that's the thing. I promised Lena I didn't promise. Fine, wait a minute. Not sure why, but I accepted the invitation. What if I can learn something new? She is such a bookworm. Okay. A minute later, I was sitting in front of Xenia. The music is getting intense. I think something's about to go down. In front of Xenia, with a tray and simple meal on it. Porridge, 2 eggs, 4 pieces of white bread, a sausage, and a glass of compote. Bon appetit. Thanks. I decided to act as politely as I could and also eat more neatly without chomping and spilling crumbs of food or drops of compote. So, what do you want to talk about? Today at the library, I was listening from the point onwards. I immediately recalled Olga's words about the scheduled events today. Don't forget, or what? I said don't forget to visit the library after the lunch. What for? Were you even listening? Nope, I admitted honestly. Xenia's face turned red, appeared green, then took on soft purple color. Today after lunch, you in the library. Got it? Tons? Tons? What kind of curse is that? Though a pioneer must never use a curse word. Could I forget this rule? Oh yeah, sure. Apologize. Of course, I'll be there. Actually, I wasn't really planning to go anywhere, but if you want to make someone speak, you need to sacrifice a bit first. By the way, what year is it now? I totally lost count. I decided to play fair. She looked at me perplexed and answered, Have we gone completely bananas? Honestly, that's how I felt for the last few days. Xenia didn't reply. So what year is it? I smiled kindly. Listen, why don't you visit the infirmary? Will they tell me what year is it there? Oh, certainly, and even more. He stood up and headed to the exit. Wait, you didn't finish your meal? But it looks like she won't turn back. I was finishing chewing on the sausage, which tasted like a twisted pear cable. I wonder if they have internet access here. Yeah, I guess not. A pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. After such a friendly greeting, he, for some reason, left the canteen quickly without finishing his breakfast. Done with the food, it's time to search for some clues. Oh, it's getting pretty weird, when people just start, stand up and get out of there, just escaping the conversation, not being a part of it at all. But fine, I'll take it. Sometime later, I finally came to the infirmary. I had nothing to do in that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it's better to keep a distance from her. Okay, such benevolence is actually scary. Exactly. She may know something, but I just hadn't had the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to, not a single one. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse who was standing on the porch. Hi there, pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. Did you come for medicine? No, I was just wandering around. Oh, a truant, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy. It sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help me to make an inventory of a supplied medicine which arrived today. Both. Or we. Perhaps I misheard. But what world could be confused with both? Hi. Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seems strange that I hadn't noticed her until now. Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do. Medicine, huh? Supplied today. But Olga told me that no bus would arrive in the next couple of days. So there were visitors to our camp today. Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking? Just curious. Alright then, Pioneer. So tonight after dinner you'll be here. Maybe Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja. I could do it on my own. No way, there's a lot of boxes. And a pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, Pioneer? Call me Semyon. She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. Menacingly, sorry. I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and also I've got more important things to do. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely think my way out. Maybe I shouldn't have lied to her. Oh! So there is nothing to do. Sorry, I thought Olga actually did ask to me. Nice. That's how a true pioneer should answer. Even after these words, I barely came a step closer to be prepared. Always prepared motto. Then you can go. I looked at Lena, who was still staring at the ground. I guess all the time she spent staring at the ground was enough to learn everything there is to know about the life and habits of different insects. Plus, Lena likes to read, so she probably read many biological, botanical, and so on books. Perhaps she wants to become an entomologist. God, where will you head next? Lena's words drew me away from the obscure thoughts. We'd been standing at the square for some time, and my speculations about Bugs' lives were only an attempt to escape this awkward situation. Though why did I see it as awkward? Just don't forget, alright? Don't forget what? Well, tonight after dinner at the infirmary, her face got a slightly grumpy look to it. No way, that's impossible. Alright. After dinner, I'm at your service. I thought too late. At my words, Lena blushed even harder. I need to find a way to ease the situation. Why did the nurse ask you to do it? I don't know. I was just sitting on the bench and reading a book when she came, and it's smart to ask a reliable person who would never say no. Okay, well then after dinner. Okay, I'll be off then. Yes, sure. She walked off somewhere beside the clubs, and I just stood at the square for some time. So what's next? I decided to visit my cabin in order to collect my phone. I don't know where I'll find myself today, but having a watch is always useful. Though having a wristwatch is much easier. Suddenly I heard a different tune which was cutting through the usual noise of the camp. I listened to it carefully. Sounds like an electric guitar. 3 repeating chords, no more. But this melody still felt somehow warm, as if a vacuum tube based audio amplifier was used. Could there be such a luxury here? The sound was definitely coming from somewhere near the stage area. I wonder who that would be. Coming to the stage area, I caught sight of Alice on the stage. Oh god. The girl was giving it all. With her eyes closed, can you not show this thing? Placed on one of her legs upon the speaker and swaying her body with the rhythm of the music. I couldn't recognize the melody, but I was pretty sure that I had heard it before. Probably something from Soviet rock. I could have named a dozen of bands of this genre right off the bat, but I was hardly an expert. The song seemed really simple, literally just a 3-chord progression. Probably even I could have played it, given some time to practice. I wonder where Alyssa got her playing skills. In the USSR, such music had never been nationally acclaimed. The future rock star wasn't taking any notice of me. It was like she was trying to become one with the music, to resound in every note, in every bar, in every triplet. Rock heroes of the 80s instantly came to my mind. Many of them were devoted to the music in a similar way. If she got dressed in something more suitable for that period's fashion instead of a pioneer uniform, no one would notice the difference. Her performance was coming to an end. Picking out the last couple of chords, Alyssa finally noticed me. "Do you like it?" She doesn't seem as surprised as I would have expected. "Yeah, that was cool." "As if you could do any better," smiled Alyssa. "Why is it always competition with you?" "I'm not saying that I can do better. I'm not a pro in music." "No doubt. Yep." I didn't know what to tell her next and was heading on my way. Wait a minute. What? What about the evening dance party? I thought it was a ball. Ball, dance party, what's the difference? She frowned. Yes, I did, and so what? Are you going to go? After throwing those words, she turned away. I'm not sure, and you? What am I going to do there? Watch a herd of morons? There's some truth in Alyssa's words, but the open disrespect surprised me. It's clear that it's not the idea of a ball that she hates. But why? What do you mean by why? Well, why don't you want to come? Dance parties ought to be fun. You really think so? Annoyance flashed in her voice. I don't know, but I thought that you would. Never liked them. She interrupted me. There's absolutely nothing to do at such parties. Yeah, I see. So, what's your plan then? I asked just to keep the conversation going. I'll just carry on practicing. What are you practicing? The song, Damas. You even heard it. Alyssa had gone totally mad. A few more wrong questions, and I will have to run for my life. Who wrote the song? I did. So you wrote it by yourself, by myself. Cool. An awkward silence hung in the air. Okay then, don't you want to listen? Then I just hear it. It's not what I meant. She pouted. The whole song is just a jam for now. Come on, do it then. Not right now. Well, don't do it then. I felt uncertain about what you want. Exactly. Fucking just be clear what you want. Just don't fucking act. God, Jesus. You mean you don't want me to play? Seemed like it frustrated her. I got ready for her to smash the guitar on my forehead or something if it was. But there was only an upset expression on Liz's face. I want to, I told you. Come here tonight then, I'll play it for you. For me? How cute. Tonight is a dance party. You said that you wouldn't go. I didn't say that. Frankly speaking, I didn't want to go. But messing around with Alyssa was no good either. Olga won't like it. Screw her, said Alyssa, getting steamed up. Oh god, look at the face. Oh god. Okay. So first things first, there's a ball thing, and I'm really pretty sure that Slavia. I'm gonna ask Slavia to ask her out. Maybe not her. Maybe I have to go after lunch to Xenia, and then after dinner to help with a thing, and then there's the ball dance, and then Olga has things to do, and then she's asking me. There's a lot of things going around here. Oh god. Putting shame at the dance party and mad get our skills. I'd rather pick up the ladder. Good boy. He smiled strangely. Just wondering if the decision I made was the right one, but suddenly I was interrupted by a ringing, calling the pioneers for lunch. I looked towards the canteen. I suppose it's time to go. Hunger is a sharp thorn. I turned around with an intent to call Alyssa to come along, but she looked so cheerless and down. Every musician should know when it's time to leave. I grumbled under my breath. Was marching forward in a row. This is the pioneer squad. Pioneers in a row usually march to the canteen in this souvenir camp. I was looking for a place where no one would disturb me, like what happened before, just so I can eat in peace. And for that I have to at least not be the last one to come. But I was pretty sure whatever happens here happens whether I wanted to or not to. The canteen was crammed as full as an egg. Olga was standing at the entrance guarding it like a hawk. Well, Simeon, were you working hard today? Hard enough. Well done, truly well done. And the hardest is yet to come. I just bet. Fine, take a seat next to the girls. She pointed at the table next to the pillar. Slavia, Ulena, and Lena were already sitting there. Not bad company. At least not the worst. I got my meal and went up to them. Do you mind if I sit here? I caught myself sounding a bit clueless. There was no other free places anyway. No, of course not. Please do. Lena remained silent. Today, the meal consisted of a plate of borscht. I suspected there was some meat lurking in it, but I had no evidence. Some poultry, chances are. Chickenus domesticus. Wow, nice word. With fried potatoes and a traditional glass of compote. Compote. I found myself liking the local food more and more. I guess I just came to the conclusion that I have no other choice, which means that there is no use in complaining. Thank God there's something to eat. Coming to the ball tonight? I don't know. Though I already had my arrangements with Elisa. He'll come. He got nowhere to go. Juliana said happily. You will come for sure? Of course, I can't miss the opportunity to watch you make a fool of yourself. She got it right, so I decided not to reply. And what about you? I asked Lena. Yes, she replied briefly. See, you should go too then, said Slavia as if leaving me no choice. Don't forget to wear your tailcoat. Apparently, Uliana was so pleased with her joke that she laughed out loud. But I really had nothing to wear. My wardrobe was just a piny uniform and my winter clothes, which would be inappropriate even in the evening. And will you be dressed in entertainer? Secret. Will it be a little dress just like in kindergarten's matinee? When I turned red, looked like I managed to offend. Looks like I managed to offend her. No, I will wear a biohazard suit just so I don't catch any infection from you. I wonder what kind of infection are you afraid of catching from me? Enough, you guys, don't quarrel. Idiocy, of course. Looks like Juliana was highly pleased with her. She thought, brilliant answer again. You know, if you already have the flu, you can't catch a cold. You two can play. Two can play the game. What are you implying? Oh, nothing at all. I looked away slyly. Do you mean that she went red again? I don't mean anything, guys. Given that it was Lena who interfered, it probably really was time to stop. You're asking for it. You're gonna get it. What? You'll finally wise up? Instead of replying, Lena grabbed a plate filled with borscht and tipped it over my head. This game met an unexpected finale. Oh, you little. Oh, God, the chase. She jumped up and tried to run away. But this time she won't get away. I grabbed her hand. But now what? I can't just smash her head against the table. Oh, God. Oh, God, why? This pantomime lasted a few seconds. Suddenly, Urania skillfully grabbed a glass of water of competent. Grabbed a glass full of comfort and splashed it in my face. That way she managed to get free of my grip. She dashed off towards the counter and I chased her. This resulted in several flipped tables, a pile of smashed tableware, 5 pioneers crippled by various injuries, and full exhaustion of both parties. A draw, sort of. A belligerent draw. With too much belligerence. We stood before each other and breathed heavily. Tell me you won't behave this way again. And you? Olga snuck up on us from behind. When you think about it, such a riot couldn't go unnoticed. Well, are you satisfied with yourselves now? Her voice appeared to be calm, but I was sure she was just about to explode. And who's gonna clean up all this mess? Exactly what happened? Who? I'm asking you, who? Him, replied Uliana with complete confidence. Her? They objected less confidently. Both. The camp leader brought a conclusive end to this ongoing argument. Generally, I wasn't sure that my share of blame is more than hers, although Uliana didn't have a drop of guilt on her face. Beat it. I'm not cleaning. Ain't nobody got time for that. This is his fault. He started it first. No, it isn't. Oh, yes, it is. I'm not going to sort out all that nonsense. Simeon, go grab a mop, a bucket, some cloth, that kind of stuff in the closet, and it's for you. She looked at me with such a burning gaze that I felt a bit sorry for the girl. You start to pick up the broken tableware immediately. Olga took a deep breath and continued, You're nothing but trouble. How many times have I told you? I decided to skip the lecture and went to the closet that appeared to be near the exit. Suddenly a perfect idea flashed in my head. Why don't I just run away? Sure, Olga has caught us already, but I'm not the one to blame. Of course, I'm not that true pioneer she keeps talking about, but in comparison to Uliana, anyway, she's the principal culprit. It's not like I had nothing better to do than cleaning up the mess here. I have to seek answers. The truth is out there, somehow flashed through my mind. No, I'm gonna stay. Running away is hardly a good idea. For starters, Olga has caught me already, and dashing off would only aggravate my punishment. As well as that, I was indeed partially guilty. Of course, it was all her fault, but if I hadn't reacted like that, probably we could have avoided this thrashing. Probably. Sorry. I opened the cabinet and took out a broom, a mop, and a dustpan. Olga wasn't anywhere near Uliana by the time I returned. She's gone. Can't you see for yourself? Uliana looked upset. All her youthful spirit vanished without a trace. Okay, hang on a second. I'll go and wash myself a bit first. I shot her an angry glance and headed towards the exit. I washed the scrapes of lunch off myself and returned to the canteen. Well, no escaping it. We have to clean it up. It's all because of you. Just a single gaze from her gave me the creeps. Of course it is. It's me who's guilty of everything. It's me who's a local natural hazard. Oh, shut up. Still, it's kind of strange that she's not trying to avoid this cleanup duty. Ulina had a solid opportunity to just run away and leave me alone, but somehow she did the exact opposite, diligently gathering broken plate fragments, mopping the floor, picking up chair and tables. In fact, she was so fast that I had a tough time keeping up with her. Well, now aren't you suddenly acting all goody-goody? It's not like I want to spend the whole day here, you dork. She still sounded irritated. Listen, you've got to understand that you can't behave like that, at least not to such an extent. For some reason, I decided to try and give her a moral lecture. I haven't done a thing. It was you who was calling me names. Ulina grabbed a bucket and a mop and went to the farthest corner of the canteen. Looks like she's still angry. Looking back at the mountain of broken tableware, I finally began to understand the scope of the catastrophe. We are lucky that at least the forks and spoons were made out of metal. We still have something to eat with. But there are hardly any plates left. Hey, Ulina called me with a shout. I went over to her. I don't get it. Why do you hate me so much? Wait, what? Her face became so serious that I was ready to believe that it wasn't just yet another trick of hers. Why do you think so? I have no idea. That's exactly why I'm asking you. I don't hate you. It's just that sometimes you behave like, well, as simple as that, but still true. Like what? I have no idea. She lifted her gaze to me, boiling with curiosity. But for starters, what's the big idea in pouring the comfort all over me? You were asking for it. She smiled for the first time since we started cleaning. Yeah, sure, I have. I heaved a deep sigh. So what do you expect from the others then? Nothing, she replied acidly. This discussion was over, so I just continued cleaning up in silence. It's a bit of a hit or miss with the dialogues. Fine. It took us a few hours to fix up the canteen. At last, all the broken tableware were gone. Chairs and tables were in their designated places. The floor looked clean. We were sitting together with Uliana next to the food counter, breathing heavily, observedly resting. Now I can see how much effort has to be put in because of a silly trick. But I'm not tired at all. Though the sweat pouring down her face told the opposite story. Oh well, good for you. So what are we gonna do next? I don't know about you, but I'd rather go. No, that's not all. You have to, she stated, to help me with another little thing. Thinking of another silly prank? You bet. She was smiling broadly. I'm not your man here. I'm more than fed up with just one punishment for today. Okay, here's the deal. If you help me now, there won't be any more pranks. Sure, that was an inviting prospect, but somehow I couldn't figure myself to trust Uliana even for a moment. But it put her to ask, so what is your cunning plan? We're gonna steal the candy. What? I should have expected something like that. Candy's for kids. So the chef will go out of the dump trash, nobody's gonna see us. Count me out. Ah, whatever. She grunted and turned away. Then I'll do it myself, and I want a low. I couldn't even finish the sentence as Ulina already jumped over the counter, ran to the cabinet, opened the door, and started magging through it. Hey, cut that. It's not like you haven't got enough problems with Olga. She didn't reply. You won't get away with just cleaning duty for something like that. Ulina closed the cabinet. She held a huge bag of candy in her hands. Ah, you little put back. She stuck out her tongue at me and dashed off through the back door. I couldn't just leave it at that. I darted off in pursuit. Why? Really? Does it really matter? You can just leave her alone. So the girl had quite a head start, but I still funneled all my energy into the chase. I won't lose her again. We ran through the square, turned at the music club building, and came out onto the forest trail. I had almost caught Uliana when she stopped abruptly. I couldn't pull up as sharply, so I crashed into her, sending her sprawling. We rolled down onto the grass. Gotcha. I gave a victorious shout. No, you didn't, she replied with an ashamed tone. Ulina was lying under me. Her face was right next to mine. I felt her erratic breathing and the heat of her body. Sure, right now she's only a child, but soon enough she'll become a woman. Can we just not talk about that, please? It was pretty embarrassing. You're gonna no into her senses. You want me to? What? What the? I'm not really in the mood. Whatever. God, what was that? What was that? Ulena reached up and bit me on the nose. What? I was not expecting that and even pulled back a little. Just a moment of hesitation was enough for her to wrestle out and run a dozen feet away. Watch it. You're gonna regret this later. She laughed out loud and disappeared into the woods. The candy bag was left lying on the ground near me. I wonder if she dropped it on purpose. It's getting near dinner time, so I had to hurry up and return the candy. I'd very preferably stay under this radar. Of course, I'll explain the situation. It was Olyana who had stolen them. But who's gonna believe me? Olga was already waiting for me at the entrance of the canteen. Good job, Simeon. On what? I had the bag of sweets behind my back. The bag was transparent and too big to put it in my pocket. I was talking with the cleanup. Everything is clean and tidy. Well, yeah. And where is Uliana? I wish I knew. She'll come soon. Okay then, go and have your dinner. I entered the canteen. To my utter lack of surprise, it was full. Now I really don't know how to turn the bag without being noticed. Sure, I could do it in the evening, but what do I do with it now? Simeon? I turned around. Slavia was in front of me. Wow, what's that? She looked at the bag and I didn't manage to hide it in time. Got it handed, or more like sweet handed. Time to prepare for a scolding. These are sweets. Where from? I stole them. Damn it. Got them from Ulina. Oh, I see. Same old song and dance. What do you mean? It's not the first time she's stolen sweets. Oh, why am I not surprised? Let me handle this. Thanks. Slavia saves the day yet again. She took the bag and headed to the buffet. I had no desire to listen what she was going to say while returning the sweets, so I started to look around the canteen looking for a place to sit. It seems that I will have to share a dinner table with Electronic and Shurik. There was no more places to sit. What's happening, gentlemen? Every time I had to deal with them, I got an itching desire to tease them, or at least to drop some cheeky or cocky banter. It might be too risky to behave that way, but the Electronic Brothers, were my primary source of positive emotions. How are you doing? Fine. What about you? Hits and misses. Did something happen? Lots of stuff. Mind sharing? Nah, some of the time maybe. Suit yourself. He made a helpless gesture. We're going to the ball after the dinner. Electronic giggle. I know that. Who would you want to ask out? I hadn't thought about it yet. What about you? It seemed that this question caught him off guard. Ask Ulina, that would make her happy. No, thanks. Electronic fiercely waved his hands. And you, Shurik, you gotta ask Alyssa out. Thanks, I'll pass. He looked calmer than his mate. Oh, come on, guys, it'll be fun. And in any case, we've got things to do. We still have to finish the robot. Oh, that's a marvelous idea. Ask your robot out. Can it dance? It can't even walk yet. Shurik probably missed the point completely. Why, it would be a great demonstration of our achievements in front of the camp. And what we show to them. Yeah, you're right. The both stared at the place disappointedly. God, this is... Wasn't I supposed to meet Xenia after the lunch? What happened to that? And now I have three things to choose between. Either I can go to pick shit up or I can go to the ball, or I can, go to listen to Alyssa. I think I'm gonna go to listen to Alyssa. I'm gonna go with Alyssa. I don't know, I have a good feeling about her. Dinner was over and the pioneers started to disperse. What will you wear for the ball? I asked Shurik and Electronic. I don't have anything special to wear. We'll go as we are. He indicated his pioneer uniform. They don't seem to care about their appearance at all. Well, why should I care then? Wearing my winter clothes isn't an option, so I'll go just like this. When does it start? After 9 o'clock. Got it. I left the canteen and deeply inhaled the fresh evening air. I remember those rare dances I used to go to at school. Hesitation, insecurity, even fear. I couldn't dance. I didn't know how to react if someone had invited me. I wouldn't dare to invite someone else. All in all, I felt pretty uncomfortable about it. And it was even more unpleasant to watch others having fun. It wasn't envy, more like it was a a disconcerting feeling that people were able to enjoy themselves so odd for me. I thought that there was still lots of time till the ball, so I could sleep a little to be fresh in the evening. Entering the camp's leader's cabin, I flopped onto the bed instantly and shut my eyes. Oh god, this is gonna take me beyond everything. Strangely enough, I got up right on time even without an alarm. The clock was showing 9, such a rare thing to happen. I felt sluggish though. Probably it wasn't the best idea to sleep during the day after all. I'm going to say Alyssa instead of the dance. So it's time then, but I agreed to help Lena. And what should I do now? Go to Alyssa. A few minutes later, okay, wait, you know what? I can save here probably, right? Yeah, I'll save here. Go to Alyssa. A few minutes later, I approached the stage. Maybe it was a bad idea accepting her offer. Just talking to Alyssa means danger. On the other hand, I wasn't eager to go to the dance. What can I do there? I'd only disgrace myself. I'm better off listening to Alyssa play the guitar. Coming closer, I saw a person sitting on the edge of the stage with her legs dangling. So you came after all. Alyssa puts the guitar aside and jumped to the ground. There was even a trace of joy on her face for a moment. Playing for someone is surely more interesting than being alone. As you can see, what are you going to do? What do you mean what? I'm asking you. Well, you wanted. I got a certain idea that the situation is one of our usual pranks and I should never have expected to hear any guitar songs. I'm going to bed. Bye. I turned around and waved her hand intentionally slowly. Hey, Alyssa glad my sleep. What? Don't you want to listen? Listen what? You yourself don't know what you are going to do. Of course I know. She took the guitar and hit the strings with the plectrum a couple of times. Sit next to me. I didn't object in the moment. I was sitting beside her. It's better this way. Miss the dance, leave now, and then what would I do? The role of a stranger was more suitable for a passive observer and not for the eager seeker of answers, who I wanted to be so badly. So I'll show you how to play this song now. Just like that, right away? What do you mean right away? I haven't held a guitar for a long time. She could probably guess how long it had been since I had held one. My skills were enough to make a cat laugh. It's not difficult. I threw an intense look at Alyssa. It distinctly seems to me now that she just can't express her feelings. She could lose her strange self-control for a moment and I'd get to see a casual and even funny and friendly girl. And then when her self-confidence and impudence turned back on, it was bitchness all as usual. Yeah. And which is the real one? Hey, what? Stop daydreaming. Oh yeah, sorry. So you're watching? I am. What song is this? The one I played this morning, of course. Oh, okay, I'm listening. Alyssa made up her mind and started to play. And that's it. Did you get everything? I may have understood it, but I probably won't be able to replicate it. How shall I put it? It's okay, practice makes perfect. She is undoubtedly right on this point. But I've had problems with practice all my life. Well, I took the guitar from Alyssa and tried to play the first chord. It was hard, as if my fingers were tied in the knot and didn't want to be in the right place. I used to be better before, but now I wouldn't even be able to play it Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Well, wait a moment. Looks like you won't be a rock hero. She laughed kindly. It may be better this way. I hissed, vainly, trying to remember the order of strings to press. Well, the guitar started to make a devilish sounds, resembling the groans of a wounded dinosaur. Oh God. Oh god. My left hand fingers constantly miss the right frets, and my right hand didn't strike the rhythm. Let's call that progressive rock. Progressive? Well, I'll give it back. She took the guitar away and it sounded completely different in her hands. I felt embarrassed by my clumsiness for a moment. Alyssa's skill may not be on the level of a professional guitarist, but nevertheless she played simple things like this with confidence. She must have had a lot of practice. Did you get it this time? She finished and offered the guitar to me. Well, I did better the second time, but it was still a long way from Alyssa's level, or from any decently adequate level. I was aware of how totally worthless I was compared to her. It seemed so simple, just play a song with three chords. The tune is too simple though. I put the guitar aside. Alyssa was lost in the thought for a moment. Even a preschool kid could play it better. Thanks, I tried. So I noticed she might be trying to demonstrate her evident superiority at playing the guitar. It's not like everyone can be a musician. Not really. Alyssa looked up at the sky. Though you can't be one, that's for sure. Why is that? You should have heard yourself. I started to regret coming here. Well, you don't mind me. Why does Alyssa need to do this? It's obvious that I'm a horrible guitarist, obviously, but if I had some practice. So, will you practice? I don't know, maybe I will. The guitar was the least of my problems, though. The guitar was the least of my problems, though. I'm stuck in a strange world I can't escape from. That's more important than a stupid argument with Alyssa. I suddenly felt an annoying self-pity, apathy, and an urge to leave this place, to forget this evening. Those feelings left a nasty impression and a burning desire to do or say something stupid, as if it would change anything. What? Me learning to play the guitar? You surely couldn't. You'd strum the guitar for a couple of days and give it up. Alice's words pierced my heart. You know what? Oh well, should she know? Is it any concern of hers? Am I acting this way just because it's true? And that it's Alyssa who spoke the truth. You can't know how to do everything. Probably not, but you should be able to at least do something. So you're saying I can't do anything. How should I know? You know, what? Should I tell her about my computer skills or about the books I've read and movies I've watched? Ah, well, this is pointless conversation. That goes without saying. You're only concerned with having fun, and you do nothing but whine. Forget it. I jumped down from the stage and walked away from a concert area. Go then, I heard Alyssa yelling at me. I'm already going, I hissed. The path led me back to the square. There was Slavia in the center of it, sweeping the area. Oh, Simeon, hi. I thought everyone was already asleep. No, what are you doing? Cleaning up after the ball. Why didn't you come? Just... Where have you been? I hadn't the slightest intention of telling Slavia how I embarrassed myself on stage with the guitar in front of Alyssa while the whole camp was having fun at the square. I took a walk. Okay, but you should have come. It was fun. Glad you enjoyed yourself. Okay. Just gonna save it here. And I'm gonna go back here. Go back here and then I'm gonna go to the dance party. I'm just gonna check out how this is gonna go. In a couple of minutes I was standing at the square. The loudspeakers and some DJ equipment were installed near the monument and the trees were decorated with light strings. A typical country ball. A lot of pioneers were around but no familiar faces, so I just sat on the bench and waited. I don't have to dance after all. Maybe I'll be able to just sit and chat with someone. Hey there, sad face. Ulina, here to suggest something? Come on, let's dance. It's way too early. There isn't even music yet. Blah, it's boring. Yeah, I'm not even the merriest person for such an event. She ran away. Wow, such... Okay, so Ulina did wear something like an evening dress. Pretty funny. Slavia, hi. Slavia. Hey. She sat down by my side. How's the evening? Fine. Why are you so sad? I'm not. Okay, well, dancing will surely cheer you up. Maybe. Don't forget to save one dance for me. She laughed and ran towards the music equipment. The situation was getting serious. I wouldn't be able to sit through the whole dance party. Hi. Lena came closer. Oh, hi, you're here too. Is that such a wonder? Yes, okay. Gonna light this party up? Joke fell flat. Lena blushed and looked down. Well, maybe that's not the best idea. Setting things on fire? Okay, then I guess I'll. Yeah. She left. Wow, this is going so fast. It looks like the whole camp was at the square. The pioneers formed large groups, talked, joked around, and laughed. At the teachers' panel, Uliana argued loudly with Olga about the playlist for the evening. And here it is. The music started to play. I don't know the band or the song, but if you ask me, I really felt that I'd tag it. Soviet pop classics. Everything Soviet. Soviet games. The pioneers just stood there for some time as if not hearing the music. It's always hard to take the first step, especially if you're pretty sure that you'll be the only one who would take it. Uliana seemed not to grasp that simple truth. She reached the center of the square with few pounds and cried out loud, "What are you standing around for?" I started to wiggle ridiculously. Wiggle is the exact word. You couldn't find a better one. It looked so silly and funny that I couldn't resist laughing. She noticed it. Hey, Simeon. I pretended I couldn't hear her. Stop pretending, I'm over here. I kept ignoring her. The pioneers slowly realized that they weren't too sexy for this party and started to dance. It looked really silly from my point of view, shaking one's arms and legs to the beat of long forgotten hits. Come on, get real. Of course I couldn't dance at all, but this thing couldn't be called a dance either. Hey Simeon, what are you sitting there for? Don't even dance. I was so deep in thoughts that I hadn't even noticed Slavia. Not really. Are you sure? She smiled. Maybe later. Damn, what am I even doing here? One more invitation to a dance would completely ruin my pride. I started to think about an appropriate excuse to leave and was looking for the moment to do so, but then I saw Lena. She was slowly heading my way. Maybe we should go? Where to? I was so immersed in my thoughts that I didn't really get what she meant. To the infirmary. But if you want to stay here and dance, I doubt she was going to dance. Lena had stood aside the whole evening. No, I'll pass. Let's go. At least I would have to stand here like a shy nerd. Seriously, trying to conceal myself in the corner wasn't very pleasant. A bull in a china shop would be more agile than me on the dance floor. I didn't have a slightest intention of dancing in the first place. Well, shall we go to the infirmary? Lena brought me out from my thoughts. We'd just been standing near the canteen for some time. Yeah, sure, thank you. What for? She looked at me in surprise. Well, for getting me out of there. I shouldn't have told her that dancing is not my thing. It's, so boring there. Seems to me you don't like dancing. It was not a trace of sarcasm on a truthful, even childlike face. Seems like she really doesn't understand. Yes, don't like that at all. I'm not into that. Me too. No one ever invites me to dance. Lena blushed and stared at ground as usual. Strange. What's strange? Well, that no one ever invites you. You think so? Again, she looked at me with an expression of surprise and a lack of understanding. I got confused and couldn't find what to say and returned right away. Yes, certainly. If I liked dancing, I would have invited you for sure. Oh, thanks. We didn't say a word for the rest of the way. Lena obviously felt too confused by my awkward compliment, and I just didn't know what topic to choose for a conversation. It was completely dark by the time, and the gloomy building of the infirmary, covered in the night mist, looked strongly like a haunted house. I felt a strong desire to turn around and walk away without making a noise. I threw a quick glance at Lena and noticed that she looked like usual, shy, modest, uncertain, but not in any way scared. It just made me even more uncomfortable. It can't be that she is not scared. While I suddenly an owl hooted nearby and I shivered. Lena seemed either not to hear it, not to pay attention to it, or just not to be scared at all by it. I hardly could believe the third option, but I didn't want to ask her about it, giving away my own fear. I entered the infirmary and found a switch in the dark. Will the nurse come later? She won't come. Okay, she won't come. Understood. Wait a second. What do you mean she won't come? Ah, I see. It is not that I'm afraid to be alone with Lena indoors at night, with no one around. Don't make it obvious. Only in movies does something under such happens under such circumstances. Is it just that I am with Lena and not with Oliana or Slavia? And it seriously changed my attitude towards things happening. There are the boxes. She pointed at the messy stack of the boxes. I don't see the boxes. There were about a dozen of them. I don't see any. Okay, do you mean this one? That's not a dozen. It would take so much more than 10 minutes of work. I put on one of the boxes on the table before me and started to take out its contents. There were bandages, lots of little packages of bandages. Here, take this. Lena gave me a piece of paper. There were some fields, and I quickly realized that I should put the name on the left, the description in the middle, and if there is one, and the quantity in the right field. It's not a database, but it will do. The work started in full swing. Semyon? What? I looked at Lena. She stared at me for a couple of moments, seemingly making up mind to do or to say something, but then lowered her gaze again. No, never mind. It was physically hard for me to just sit without saying a word. However, I didn't dare to speak first, not only because I couldn't think of a good topic for conversation, but that I was feeling very shy. This girl could easily be embarrassed by anything. Semyon? Yes? You're counting them all over again. Indeed, I have started to take out and put into the database the bandages I already counted. Oh, sorry. She didn't answer. Hey, where are you from? I mean, where did you come from? Meaning, where were you born? I mean, where do you live? Well, there's a town not far from here. Not from here, where is that? Somewhere. Looks like she doesn't want to talk about it. Is Lena hiding something too? It is explicable in the case of Olga, but in Lena's case, it is absolutely not like her. Is the secret? No, just somewhere in the south too. I should have thought of something more original. Every single one of my sudden ideas turned out the wrong way, and this attempt to play spy worked out even worse. And I thought about the south just because the only pioneer camp of the Soviet Union I remembered was Artek. Yes, Lena hesitated to reply. I couldn't quite tell if she was lying or not. Don't you like it here? I wonder what part of what I said made her think so. Absolutely not. I like it here. My false friendliness sounded very insincere, grating on the ears. What about you? I like it. It's so calm here. There are lots of books in the library, and the people are nice, but not all of them. Why? Did I really say that the last bit out loud? Turns out I did. Well, you know, Oliana, for example, she's like an energizer battery with a completely unbalanced point of power application. Battery? What? Oh god, how? What? Maybe I really was sent back in time. Never mind. Or Alyssa, the saying a pioneer is the kid's role model, certainly doesn't describe her. If everyone started following her example, it would be a complete disaster for the country in 20 years or so. However, think about it now, you can draw the conclusion that everybody did follow the example of Alyssa in the 80s, but probably I am right now. She's not like that, actually. Not like that. Not like what? Not like what you said about her. To begin with, I hadn't said anything. I just stated the fact that she is not the best example to follow. But maybe. Sounds like you know her well enough. Probably. I asked the question only to keep the conversation going and didn't expect an answer like that. Alyssa and Lena were so different. The idea that they could be close was unbelievable for me. We came from the same town, as if she had foreseen my question. We have common friends, even though Alyssa is 1 year older. Okay, it's a bit strange. Not like that. I'm just surprised. Everyone gets surprised. Lena smiled a bit. I took the second box. Analgenum activated charcoal. Saline solution. Potassium permanganate. Furacillin, whatever analgem. Lena always spoke in simple sentences. How can I communicate with her if every conversation turns out into a monologue or just an awkward silence? I wasn't quite satisfied with such a state of things. Sometimes it looked like she's hiding something behind a mask of shyness. But what? You know, I read a book not that long ago. Do you like science fiction? Not much. Damn, another failure. Well, if you don't like it, then what books do you like? Different kinds. The conversation wasn't going smoothly and I had to turn it off for the better. Who knows why, but I thought about the dance again. Feeling of uneasiness, discomfort, and even shame overwhelmed me once more. Looks like I am not that different from Lena when it comes to such things. I am shy and afraid of things I don't understand or can't do. I should probably overcome my fears my own fears before anything else, and this will help me to understand her better. I've made up my mind. There are only a couple of boxes left. Yes, I've got an idea. How about we go to the canteen afterwards? I think the tape recorder was taken back there. What is it doing in the What is it doing back in the canteen? I hesitated. What for? Her sincere look made it clear that she had an decided idea what I'm going to offer. Well, frankly speaking, I just don't know how to dance, and that's why I don't like it. That's the reason I was so confused back there. Maybe I could thank you by dancing with you. But I. She stopped sorting out the medicine for a moment, blushed, and looked right into my eyes. I got a bit stubborn. It really was a stupid idea. It's okay if you don't want to. I don't insist. What if someone sees us? I certainly didn't think about that. It's not a big deal, but everybody's asleep already, and no one is going to go to the canteen at night. How will we get in there? I should have thought about it beforehand. Well, I did have Slavia's keys, but didn't want to mention them. Someone could get the wrong idea about me stealing them. The moment I regretted that I still didn't get my cell phone from the leader's cabin. Anyway, I had to say something to get away from this awkward talk. And what kind of music do you like? Different kinds. I'm not really into it. Let's imagine that it's playing now. I mean that when we hear it playing. How's that? Like it plays in our head. I still remember the melody that pioneers were dancing to. The music and words were really clear in my memory. I'm not sure I can do it. You can just try. Probably. I've got her consent. In Lena's case, even that probably can be considered yes. We silently sorted medical supplies for the rest of the time, writing down the names and quantities. I should pay more attention to every word I say after such luck. I stayed silent most of the time though. Soon we finished the last box. I gave Lena the fill-in list and started to stare at her like I saw Bigfoot riding a unicycle while juggling piglets. It was amazing, frightening, and above all, mesmerizing. She suddenly broke out laughing. What? The look of yours. What about it? It's just funny. Really? Yes, so where are we going to go? Where? Her last words unsettled me. I completely forgot what we were talking about. Frankly speaking, I had completely left this world for a moment. Well, to dance. Lena blushed right away, and her face took on a strange expression of shyness, uneasiness, and fear. Oh yeah, sorry, I was just lost in thought. Let's go to the pier. I don't know why I chose that place, maybe because you could turn into a pioneer at the square in the residential area or near the canteen, but not the pier. That's what I thought at least. Or maybe because of the large bright moon reflecting on the water in the night. And it was a full moon today. I don't know how, but this solution just offered itself. And if you don't like it, then we can... no, that's really a nice place. Lena locked the door and we made our way to the pier. Night fell on a sleeping camp. Should we follow the road? Why? It would be faster through the forest. There is a nice path there. It's dark there. Are you afraid? Really? If you want to. Okay. But can I? Without finishing, she grabbed... Okay. I'm not regretting... I thought Night with Alyssa would be a better night, but... Is it okay with you? Now it was my turn to blush. Of course, we walked through the forest. It was hardly a forest though, more like a small grove between the camp and the pier. About 100 meters long. I would never think that there would be anything to be afraid of, even on my own. But it just seemed like Lena's fear was contagious. The branches swayed over us. I shuddered and Lena clung to my arm even more strongly. Don't be afraid. It's just a squirrel. It must be a squirrel. Yeah. Oh god, yes. Okay, after this I'm just gonna end the stream. It's been too long. We reached the pier. The night. Is it pier or is it pier? I think it's pier, right? Because the E comes after I. So the night was really beautiful. I walked closer to the river and called Lena. Look, pier, the boathouse and the moon were reflecting in the water. It looked like another world, with the surface of the water being the door to Wonderland. You could just jump and find yourself on the other side. May I have this dance? I extended my hand to her and bowed clumsily. Lena hesitated. I must have overdid it with my mannerism. There's nothing to fear. I'm not good at it either. Why either? She never said she couldn't dance, though it was kind of obvious. Okay. Lena gave me her hand and I led a bit aside and gently put my arms around her waist. We just stood like that for a few moments, and what next? Well, I don't know. You remember that song? Barely, but I remember. Great, let's waltz like in the movies. How's that? Instead of answering her I carefully started to move in a circle with Lena. See, not that hard at all. Okay, this is really beautiful. um, yeah. We waltzed for several minutes, or whatever you could call it. I felt her warmth, though we were not that close to each other. Her chest heaved heavily, and her face started to blush more and more. Lena didn't look at me, retracing her eyes off from one side to another. I suddenly realized that I had never felt anything like this before. It was tenderness overtaking reality, as if I found myself in another better world. I realized that I didn't want to let this girl go and that I would give up anything just to go on waltzing with her forever. I clasped Lena tighter and only then she did look straight at me. There was so surprise and confusion in her gaze, but no fear whatsoever. She wasn't afraid of me and didn't push me away. And he said, "You can't dance." I really can't. I was confused. I didn't expect that reaction from her. It was her confusion. Shyness and fear disappeared too. You too, dance pretty well. I know. A playful smile crossed his face, sorry. Crossed her face, not his face, fucking. Or maybe it just seemed so to me. I swear I saw it. How is it possible? The image of shy and modest Lena didn't fit together with this moment at all. What should I say? What should I do next? I could only keep on waltzing with her in this dance, which was getting stranger with every passing minute. Simeon? Simeon, where are you? The voice came from the edge of the forest. Damn, worst timing ever. Simeon, it was Olga. She must have been worrying because I should have been back a long time ago. I should have guessed that tireless camp leader would start searching for a lost pioneer. Should have warned her beforehand. Or there is no point in thinking about it now. Lena looked at me questioningly. Being seen together would not be the best thing. Why? Let's go and tell her that everything is alright. No, let's hide and return to the camp later. Her idea was strange. Everything was going so well. At least something was starting to work out. Or seemed like it did. What was that something? Okay then. I decided not to argue. It wasn't appropriate in such a situation. Olga started for a while and left. Let's go. Yes. Lena didn't grab onto my arm on the way back. I was a little bit frustrated, but wasn't certain enough to take the first step. We kept silent again. It was not typical of Lena to start a conversation, and I just didn't know what to say after everything that happened at the pier. She kept looking at the ground all the way back, keeping her usual expression. What a bizarre change. Or to be more precise, what was bizarre was that smile on the pier and Lena's words. Or was it Rena? I think I figured it out. The Rena in the dreams is actually Lena. Or something, or I don't know. There's some connection. I'm gonna stick to this girl to find out how that is connected, because that was not Lena. I can guarantee. Mark my words. She stopped at the square. Well, I have to go. Okay. Thank you for today. Yes. Yes. Is that what you answer? Okay. Lena turned around and headed to her cabin, and I kept standing where I was. What the hell was that? The dance, that sudden change in the mood, and then everything was back to normal. It was like I was embracing another Lena in that short moment. That's right. She wasn't herself. Exactly. She seemed a completely different person. Maybe I don't know her well enough. I had a feeling before that Lena hides something under her mask of shyness. It makes much longer than 2 days to understand someone. Damn, what should I do? Maybe I was just seeing things. I walked to the leader's cabin. The whole camp was sleeping, so there was no one to see me. So what? What's wrong with the pioneer taking a walk at night? I was almost at the door. I heard a noise behind me. Branches of a bush near the trees rustled as if someone moved there. There shouldn't be any wild animals around here. Someone must have been watching me. That very moment I rushed in the direction of the noise, forced myself through the bushes and looked around. It was too dark and I didn't see anything or anyone. There was no point in going on. Even if someone was watching me, He must have been gone already. I went back to the cabin. The light inside was on. Look like she's still awake. Simeon, where have you been? What do you mean, where? Me and Lena have been sorting medical supplies in the infirmary. I told you before that I would do that in the evening. Really? When was that? Took you long enough. I was in the infirmary about half an hour ago and it was closed and the lights were off. Well, we decided to have a little walk. I'm fretting about you while you're having a walk. Well, sorry. I'll let you know beforehand next time. Please do. Go to bed, it's late. I can't help agreeing with her. It was by any measure a hard day. I was too tired to think about the evening's events, and I doubt I would have any decent thoughts. The main thing is that I have not a single idea how to react to all of this. To Lena, to the camp, to this whole world. I practically haven't spent even a minute on looking for answers. Moreover, I haven't been avoiding it as if the possible discovery scared me. And Lena, time I spent with her as was much more important than all of my attempts to return to the real world. I could worry myself for a long time trying to understand what I did wrong and what I didn't do at all, but exhaustion overcame me. Okay, wait a second. I woke up with a hellish ringing inside my head. The ringing seemed to be coming from the depths of my consciousness. After I came to my senses, I realized that the causes of this ringing is my alarm clock. Strange, where did it come from? Why is it standing near my bed? I don't see it. Is this your bed? Is this your bed? I'm gonna guess. It's the bra here, so this is your bed. It was 7:30 according to the clock. Olga had already left and there was nobody to force me to go to the lineup. Wait, what? 7:30, okay. Thus I can't sleep a bit more. I closed my eyes but seemed like my consciousness had already had its coffee and was ready for a long productive day. I need to get up. I should plan my day out. After all, I need to at least find out something today. And that something is that I'm going to save right now. And I'm going to hope for the betterment of all of you. Gotham. Okay, so hey, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for joining in. Fucking 3 hours of live stream. 6 more minutes and it's exactly 3 hours. This is completely weird. And for that, thank you for joining in. Whoever joined in, whatever. Fucking... I'll see you later.